Okay.
Just so you know, I'm looking at it on another browser and it's showing the whole screen.
The whole screen?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to find us on Twitch to see how it looks from my iPad. And show me. Oh, yeah.
Like, here y'all.
We know. This is the show before the show. All right. Okay. Okay. It's weird. All right. Well, if you're here, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. All right. I'm going to stop the share because we're actually here. We're not coming. We're here.
Yes.
And
yes, on camera.
It's okay. We're a family here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey.
All right. I love it. I love to see that. That little ticker makes me very happy.
Very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Multitasking.
Morning, girl.
Okay.
Hey.
All right. So last week we had some issues with our Twitch feed. We think I solved. So if you're watching us on Twitch, drop a comment in the chat so I can see if I can see your comment.
And wherever you are, drop a comment, like shout out where you're tuning in from.
Yes, let us know.
We have several on YouTube live right now. Put some in the comments. Let us know you're here. We don't always know because we have so many streaming apparatuses.
Apparati.
Going on that to be able to know who all is coming in from where. But we do see all of your comments. At least one of us does. So let us know. Get in the comments. Let us know where you're joining us, on what platform you're joining us. And I don't even know what city you're in. Let us know on what platform.
But you can tell us. Like that's a fun fact.
It's a fun fact. Fun fact. It felt like not Coffee Talk, which is the NPR show they used to do on SNL. The soft talking.
Yes. With the
Fun fact.
Hey.
hey, baby. Fun fact. Let us know. We'd love to know where you're coming from. Fun fact.
We'd love to know where you're coming from. Post a comment and see if it comes back.
Like last time it posted double. Every time you posted a comment, it posted 2 comments.
Yeah, because it posts everywhere.
And now, like, I'm going to put a comment. Hey. Thanks,
Yvonne. I'm saying good morning, two-timers.
Yes.
Yay, it did go to Twitch. So if you're watching on Twitch, welcome.
You gave us 3 comments that time.
Yeah, so it shows, hey, Dee, it shows on Periscope or Twitter, Twitch and YouTube. So yeah.
Okay. When I'm doing it, it's only YouTube.
Well, so you're monitoring YouTube.
Yep.
Separately, and I'm monitoring Twitch separately, and then also I have all of the.
Yes. You're doing the most. You're more capable of doing the most stuff.
We're gonna talk about getting a unpaid intern to come and do some of this, so that we can be.
Okay. I would like to say that this morning I am wearing Boss Lady.
And I am wearing flawless.
I love it. It's gorge.
It's my nod to all of the purple majesty that occurred on Wednesday.
Yes. Okay, so we got some folks in the room, and
let's get it
popping.
All right, I'm going to send one text to remind people.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to share with the world the note that my daughter left on my computer this morning.
Please do.
Can y'all read that? I love it. I love it. Okay, and she's right. Hey, Chan. Hey, Andy.
Oh, snap.
Good to
I was
see
just talking about you the other day, Chandler.
Meta.
I was reminiscing about the second time I took the MCAT in college, and how the day before I took it, you had him.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, oh, I have to try to concentrate now.
And he, we've been corrected. It's Chaniella, not just Chandler.
Oh, my bad, Chaniella. My bad. I forgot we have a new family member.
Yes, we got a whole wife. And my family, I don't know if you'd even be able to see it if I tried to show you, but my whole family, we have G tattoos. I don't know if you can see mine.
Yep.
Okay. We all have those. And my daughter-in-law, who is the other half of Chaniella, got hers yesterday. I'm so excited. We got a complete set.
That's awesome.
See, that's exactly why you asked not to be told.
What happened? Oh,
gotta focus. Gang.
Right. We were like, don't say anything, don't put anything out, because somebody's taking the bar. Right. Yeah, no, we were way too excited, and what else? Yes. It happened. So yay.
Let's get things started.
All right. So welcome everybody. Welcome. 2 for tea, all that jazz. No, just teasing. I'm gonna take the pen down. You know where you are now. So wanna welcome. Oh, it's my turn to welcome. All right. So the title of today's show is We Have the Culture. Think He-Man. We have the culture. Yes, I'm aging myself. It's real. But we have the culture. And I took that. I'm not going to act like I came up with that phrase. I mean, obviously, I don't own the words, but my favorite TV show host, Joyanne Reid, gave a kind of a sermon on it.
We've been doing lately, sermonizing, and all
been doing that.
Money in the plate.
Mm-hmm. She has been letting people know. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to put up her quote so that I do it justice, and I can play with the buttons.
Yeah. Producing.
Yes. Oops, that's not the right one. One moment. Work with me, people. This is how technology happens. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now.
There you go.
All right. Democrats have the culture. They have the Hollywood culture. They have the glamorous culture. they got Black folks. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. And the right hates that. They feel that the culture's too woke, too multicultural. It's not John Wayne anymore. There's all of this multiculturalism and wokeness and liberalism, and they hate it. But they also envy it. They also wish they had it. And they hate the fact that after Ronald Reagan, they no longer had a claim to the culture. They want the culture more than they want the politics. It's facts. It's Snapple facts.
Amen. Amen and amen.
A woman, which I'm not even going to go there. But so that's where the title came from. And I have some other fun things to share today. Other things that I've been coming up with as I dabble in producing. Not a producer. But anyway, welcome to Twofer Tea. Visit our blog, right? We have new content on the blog, y'all. Like, celebrate.
Right.
Remember last week we talked about all the shows and we did not talk about Bridgerton because we posted about Bridgerton. So if you want to know what we thought, spoiler alert, we loved it. Yeah. You can read about all the reasons why and all the things that we thought about the Ton. They get down in the Ton. BT dubs.
They do. Okay, so yeah, read the review. We did it head-to-head style. You know, sometimes we do a couple of different styles on the blog. We'll do a head-to-head, and then we do like a top over bottom, where one person does their whole and the other person does their whole. But we did this one head-to-head style because it was fun, and we broke out a few different things that we loved about the show. And I mean, I need y'all to get into it. I need y'all to get into the blog, and I need y'all to give us some feedback on it. You love the Bridgerton blog. Good, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we got into it more than we probably. I mean, we could dedicate a whole show to chopping up Bridgerton if we wanted to, but we didn't. We put it in words instead because that's actually what we came here for. Right. We have fun with the show. We actually came here to write. So, but anyway, we're two friends, writers, big opinions. If you read the blog, we have seriously large opinions, and we're not shy about them. So, deal with it. We also want to thank our partners. Wait for it. Partners, if you're watching, we got you. We got you. We want to thank our partners, Creative Sippin'. I don't have a logo for Curly and Spiritually Fit yet, or at least if we do, I couldn't find it. But Melanin Mindscape, Disrupting Balance, and our newest partner, the Spiked Sweet Tea Podcast. Hey, so more about them at the end of the live. But for the time being, right now, we're going to get into all the things that have happened since we spoke last, which we didn't think would be a lot, but y'all.
We thought, okay, next show we'll talk about the inauguration at the end.
Yeah, we'll just breeze past that. We'll be in and out. You guys will have all the rest of it. It didn't happen. There's so much to talk about. It didn't happen. There's so much to talk about. It's just so So first, before we get into it, though, we got a couple of RIPs. Hank Aaron, just 2020's on it's in his bag. So it's January.
I disagree with you already. 2020 is not in his bag because these people who have passed away, 2021, because these people who have passed away lived long, fruitful lives, have left amazing legacies, and did not die tragically. So
facts. Even though, did you see Robert Kennedy Jr. out here talking about spreading conspiracy that Hank Aaron died after 14 days after taking the vaccine?
No, I did not.
And it bears mentioning, I was like, dude, go fall on something blunt, because I want it to hurt and I don't want it to be quick. Fall on something blunt, impale yourself,
and then pull it out immediately.
Right. And then 300 style, bleed out, gush out. Just really? Like, we can't even have a respectable death. You got to come in and, wipe feces all over it, talking about okay.
Yeah. So, back to what you're saying, RIP to Hank Aaron.
RIP to Hank Aaron. Those of you from the A, y'all know. I mean, Hank Aaron was that dude. And whether you follow baseball or not, Hank Aaron was that dude. And he was that dude to the end. I used to call him the mad rapper because he was like, I still feel it right up in here.
Yeah.
You know, y'all talk about all the wonderful things, but you leave out the parts about how I had to stay in a separate hotel and how I was getting hate mail every day. And, you know, you try to whitewash the history, no pun intended, and that ain't what it was. So, you know, we lost a real one. And then this morning I woke up to find out Larry King died. And, you know,
well, you're talking about two octogenarians. You're talking about, you know,
for real. And honestly, and I'm good for doing this. I don't mean to do it, but I thought Larry King died a while ago because we just had not heard from him. And so I was like, oh, all right. Yeah. So, you know, there was that. So I just want to take a moment at the top of the show and you know, pay some respects, pay some virtual respects to two legends.
Yes, absolutely that.
Now. And now let's get into this. Let's talk about the inauguration. Let's just dive in, and we're gonna start with some baddies.
You know where we're gonna start. The only place we could possibly start.
We have to start here because it's not a joke. It was not a joke then. It's not a joke today. When I tell you, I said this to my sisters when I talked to them on Wednesday as it was happening. When Michelle Obama got out of that Suburban, I literally clutched my pearls and gasped.
Look, my mama called me, and I'm not watching on, she's watching on live TV. I have a little delay because I'm watching on Hulu Live. Mm-hmm. So my mama called me and she was like, did you see Michelle? Did you see? I was like, not yet. Give me a second. But she was like, she was killing it. She was giving it. She was like, okay, just come back after. Y'all, the way that she was stepping on necks, the way that she strolled up in there and snatched all of our edges, the way that she gave us all of our life, the way that she
let us know that we had been asleep
until that moment.
Like, waking you bitches up. You've been asleep.
She was like, this is how you wear pants.
Ooh.
This is how you wear pants.
This is how you wear a mask and make it fashionable.
How do you slay with half your face covered?
Listen, I was watching it on CNN, and Jake Tapper was talking about the fact that, you know, it used to be people would pull up and, you know, all of the reporters would, you know, kind of make a game out of, you know, who knows the most about who, you know, who's in this.
Right. Yeah.
When she got out of the car, he, you know, was like, and I was like, bitch, that's Michelle motherfucking Obama. You better pay some respect. The sun came out.
Robinson, Obama.
All of that. Okay, Shelley, forever FLOTUS. She was like, I'm here to remind you. I'm here to remind you. I did not come to play with you hoes. I did not.
I mean, she had an invisible cape. She had the words legacy popping out of her.
Her rainbow said bad bitch. That's what it said. Bad bitch.
That belt buckle could stop bullets, I'm sure. Yeah.
She like, I got your lasso of truth right here.
Right here.
It's right here. It was so smooth that when she walked around the car, Bakari Sellers had me rolling. He was like, Michelle Obama is here with some dude. I mean, it was like, it didn't matter. People got out on the other side. Nobody cared.
Husband.
Nobody cared. And you could tell that she was giving face underneath the mask.
She gave walk. She gave face. She gave walk. She gave even the way her arms were moved. All of it. She gave posture. They
should have played formation over her because that's all I heard was boom, 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 boom. It was like it's over. It's over. It's over.
No, Deb said, Rachel Maddow said that she was the only one who wore a mask that didn't look like an afterthought because it wasn't. It was silk, as was Forever POTUS's mask. They were both silk they were, I mean, even down to the mask, like being contoured to her face. I mean, yeah, the curls were just like, I mean, she was like, I want my bouncage to be on 12 today.
Hello.
Yeah.
I was like, remember that time I got a sew in? Like, I could do that shit again.
Right.
I could do that. If I can get out of some shit looking like that. There were no fans blowing on her,
No,
and yet
she needed not a fan.
Listen, I said, someone commented on how fly she was on Twitter, and I said, she ethers without effort.
Ooh, that
nobody else needed to come. Everybody else could have stayed home. She's here. We're done. We don't care about what anybody has to say.
She sees the bodies falling around her.
Steps over those bodies.
Over them.
Like,
Absolutely.
She raised the level. Like,
the real black lightning. I see you.
I feel like they called her and said, "What are you wearing?" And she said, "I'm wearing this." Shows them the diagram, and they're like, "Okay, that helps. All right, okay, cool." So I'm gonna wear this, and she was like, "No, don't wear that. Wear this right here. That's you."
Yeah, but certainly what we learned overall, and we can get into the other folks, is that our coat games are lacking,
dude.
I mean, I think that's what we learned from this inauguration, is that we are slipping on our coat game, because everybody there was rocking the monochromatic, fly tapered, some shit I can't afford,
one or two buttons, like
yes,
fitted through here and flaring out, like,
and then back to Shelly, who did not even button her coat, because she was like,
didn't even button it.
I need you to catch this belt buckled up. I need you to catch it.
She said, "I want you to see.
I need you to see all this.
I want you to see." She's like, "This too can be yours at 57. Is that how old she just turned?
I think so. I hate that Cortland said she was like, "I be best."
That would have been the best troll ever. That would have been the best troll ever.
Oh yeah, W be looking for her, man.
He sought her out. He was like, "Is she? Oh shit, she's here."
Right?
She's here. She's here. Oh my God, she's here. Laura's like, "Calm down, fool."
Right. Yes, Amanda Gorman's coat. All of the Biden children and grandchildren in their whole monochromatic with the masks, the dresses, the coats. I was like, so this is the theme.
Yes.
The theme.
I mean, even Kamala's stepdaughter with her $800 Miu Miu jacket that I was like, oh, okay, so I can just get this at H&M. Oh no.
Nope. I know. But
my dad,
things that like, this is some steampunk chic type.
Yeah, because she totally had on like some Doc Marten type boots. Exactly. And I was like, okay.
I don't know what's going on here, but I know I'm too poor for it. That's what I know.
And I didn't put this on the sheet, but Mina Harris's husband stole the show
with his Dior Jordans.
Listen. Amy Klobuchar came to the mic, and I was on Twitter and on the phone, but somebody, Desus Nice, I think, on Twitter was like, okay, but the real hero is the person wearing these shoes, because he was coming down the stairs behind Amy Klobuchar. So come to find out, it was Nina Harris's husband. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, he probably was like, listen, if I'm going to have to chase these kids around so you can be fly, I'm going to be fly and comfortable and all of that. And when she came out and said he had a suitcase full of special for the Jays, I was like,
did you follow her?
Yes.
Okay. So on Instagram, where she was like, I had no idea he would be named like Secretary of Trip, but
right. She said, I got on Twitter to find out that Nick was trending.
Yes.
It was like, what the hell just happened? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So yes. Are we going to talk about these Black designers?
Yes. Yes, we are.
So I know that at one point, Kamala was also wearing Sergio Hudson. I don't know if it was the purple or if it was the black. I think it was the black later that evening, wasn't it?
Well, They said that whoever she was wearing to the inauguration also was a Black designer. So I don't know if it was
two Black designers. Yes.
Okay.
There were two Black designers. One of them was Sergio Hudson. Auntie Shell is in all Sergio Hudson in this cranberry. Kamala,
Oxblood.
I'm sorry, Oxblood. You were so right.
No, I looked it up. I was like, what color is that?
Aubergine even. But
right.
No, right. But Kamala wore Sergio Hudson as well, but I'm not sure if it was this purple or if it was the camel from the night before, or if it was the black she wore on the evening. She wore a black long coat with like some sheen on it. Two Black designers, they were given it, and whatever it is, Michelle Obama got like, you know how you have like purple label and then you have
Black label, purple label.
Right. Michelle got,
she got O label.
Yeah, she got the O label. That's what she got. Okay. Okay. Now, did you don't have a picture of this one up here. Okay, first of all, Jill was giving us two. She was giving us some brocade type.
And Jill's shoes matched this outfit. She had the shoes also matching.
Everything matches at all times. Her mask is always matching.
Listen,
always.
She must go to Nancy Pelosi's person.
She must.
Because
sometimes Nancy, I'll be like, are those cats? Are those
Oh snap. Wait, I have another picture.
Because Dr. Jill's white coat from the evening of the inauguration was super special. I don't have a picture of that because I didn't think to pull it, but she had on a white coat that had flowers embroidered around the bottom, and there were flowers from all 50 states. She had on a dress that had flowers up here, and apparently the flower for Delaware, heart, and the others grew out from that.
Gotcha.
And all of it was made from, I don't want to say recycled, but not scrap, but leftover materials. To reduce the impact on the environment. So, I mean, all that to say, they put so much thought into these things that they wear. It's not just, your stylist goes and picks something from his favorite designers, or your stylist goes and finds something off the rack at Neiman. They have to put so much thought into where they come from, who's designed them. I can't even imagine the amount of tailoring that goes into these things, but all just to make sure that nobody can have shit to say when they walk up on that stage, because people are looking for things to pick at, starting at the fashion.
Correct.
Yeah, heels. Well, first of all, can we talk about how they all wore some shade of purple, a nod to purple?
Yes.
The whole bipartisanship thing. Yeah, comments about Hillary were me. Now, I will say her coat looked kind of brown, even though it was supposed to be a shade of purple.
What did they say about Hillary? I mean, I can imagine, but
the same thing they always say about Hillary. And also,
yeah, they're just not kind to her.
She's not a fashion icon, but she's not trying to be one.
No, that was never her thing.
Yeah, it's not her aspiration. But when she got about that car, though,
yeah,
she was so happy to be there.
Yes, indie face.
They should have worn matching masks.
I like that they didn't, like, no one went off script. So it wasn't like, Hillary was like, well, I'm going to wear white. She didn't try to be Whitley in the sea of, everybody wearing purple. She's going to wear something different.
Right.
And I will also say that because I am petty, this is the end of bipartisanship where I'm concerned. The purple, like, that's it, y'all. This is it. This is your bipartisanship right here. Now let's get down to business.
I mean, it always is, though. But I think it is, I don't know how effective it is, but it is certainly a recognizable, symbolic act.
Sure.
And the right way to get everybody to understand how we're going into this. The thought process going into this is maybe we can work together. And, it's symbolic, but it's not, nobody expects it to be from this point on, kumbaya. Nobody expects it.
Sure. Well, I, cannot get enough of the Michelle photos and the gloves. Like
Court said the smartest people on the stage were those three women, Michelle, Kamala, and Hillary. And you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. Well, I mean, and I mean, Dr. Jill.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Jill. Okay.
Dr. Jill, Dr. Flotus. We'll talk about that later.
I love that. Rye87 says easily the best fashion award goes to Bernie's mittens. Okay.
Yo, we're going to talk about that later, but yes, honey.
We can talk about the Bernie memes later, but since we're on the fashion section, can we talk about Bernie's fashion for a moment?
I just bought tickets to the fish fry fashion.
Yes. Can we talk about his coat? Now, I did read, and if somebody else knows it, because I don't have the specifics. There was something special about his mittens. There was some kind of... Somebody
made them. I mean, I don't know. What the fuck else are they doing in Vermont?
Okay, they were made by one of his supporters, a teacher. There we go.
Right, there it is.
Bernie's mittens, his coat that was... Since we're talking about coats, Bernie was not on the... He was not on the train. But
no, Bernie just got done shoveling some snow.
Bernie is
That's how he looked.
Y'all know why I'm here, so I don't get fined. No, but Bernie was there because he needed to be there.
Yes.
Bernie was not with the shits. I mean, he just wasn't. And his outfit reflected that. His outfit was very, very, very Bernie. And
it was so on brand.
And that's because it was so on brand. That's what sparked all the memes. Yeah.
People said he looked like he was going to the post office.
Yes.
Like he was making a pit stop because he had that manila envelope in his hand.
Yes,
like, what's in there? Lottery ticket? Like what, dude, could you be more of an old white man right now?
Yes. That's what I said. He was so Vermont with it.
He was on Seth Meyers and he was happy to be there. He was just told, yeah, of course. And I mean, again, he's old. Nobody clowned Janet Yellen. She looked exactly the same in her fucking plaid, tartan throw over her legs and her coat and her, like you are at an inauguration. Like, can you put forth a little bit of just she's like, no, that's not what I'm here for.
Yep, that's not who I am.
That's not who or what I am.
Absolutely.
I'm an economist, a serious, so yeah.
Yes.
I didn't realize that it would turn into a phenomenon with Bernie. Like I laughed when I saw him. I was like, look at this one. and then that was it. And now he's everywhere, bro.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's talk a little bit about the performances during the inauguration. Boy, there are some split opinions on these performances.
Okay.
Now, I love that you put on here, Gaga volunteers as tribute during the national anthem because, yes, she was giving us very much Mockingjay. She was giving us very much, full on eagle.
I'm looking for the picture. I immediately was like, is that a Mockingjay on her?
Yeah, I'm over here like.
I can't remember the tune, but.
Oh, no. Yes.
Okay, that picture's terrible.
Yeah, Gaga. Okay, I will say this. She did the national anthem, and I can't remember who. Imani was in the room and she was like, what is she doing? I said, she's performing. She's doing what Gaga does. She's performing. And she said she wants to do so much more. I was like, absolutely. But she's showing restraint and she's doing what she should have done. Other than her, and you can't even get mad at her outfit because she's Lady Gaga. She didn't have on a meat dress. Let's just be glad that didn't happen. Her outfit was over the top.
I'm trying to get a good picture, but go ahead.
But a lot of people were really brought to tears by her version of the national anthem. I can't say that I was brought to tears by it. I can't say that I was even emotionally stirred by it, but I was not offended by it at all.
She gave us opera.
She did. And I think
she gave us a little bit of soul toward the end. Like she, you know, but
she motioned to the flag. It was, you know, it was pointed. And I think that's when a lot of people felt that well of pride, which I get. I just don't feel it.
No.
You know.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So Lady Gaga, like somebody said, that's why there were no viral memes about it, because
I mean, and what did y'all think Stephanie was gonna get out here and do?
Right. Germanata. And then so we had J-Lo, whose performance I did have a problem with, I will say. Not because of her singing, not because of her, you know, her singing was passable. I mean, you know, she's J-Lo. We're not expecting her to get out here and have perfect tone or pitch. I mean, we're not expecting any of that. She did, yes, J-Lo just did J-Lo. But what I disliked about her performance is when Kobe was upstairs in class and she is watching it on another screen and texting me. She's like, does she just pitch her own song in the middle of the patriotic songs here? When she goes, let's get loud, 'cause this land was made for you and me. It's like, what? Did you just say let's get loud in the middle?
She did.
And,
let me tell you, that's the moment that I knew it was her. Because the rest of that performance, I was like, I have never heard J-Lo. Either we've never heard her voice, ever, and now you want us to believe that this is you. And I did not. I did not believe it. The same way that there are sometimes when Melania speaks, her mouth is moving, and yes, the person's voice has an accent and all of that, but it doesn't look like it's her. I don't for 1 second even believe that was J-Lo. Like there's production, and then there's like, just go get Ashanti to sing it for you.
Well, there were people who were like, that was Ashanti.
You know, and it would have been more believable. And maybe it's because I don't really fancy J-Lo's music, like her bangers, yes, but like I don't buy her albums, and I don't be like, oh, that's, you know, hidden track number 4 was the jam. I've never heard her sing a ballad. I've never heard her, you know, I've never heard of her live. Because has anybody?
To answer your question, what was that she said in Spanish? She said, "Una nación bajo Dios con
one nation under God.
Indivisible con libertad y justicia para todos. One nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all."
Yeah,
and which, I mean, you know, I'm not mad at that either.
No, I wasn't. But those were the times when I was like, "That's her." Some other times I was like, "Look, just sit there and be pretty, and you know, be fly in your outfit, and you know, like." I don't know, perform like that Stepford version of her. No.
Yeah, the outburst was just really, really weird, and it turned me off.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I was like, okay, you know, better than I expected. J-Lo, do you? But yeah, that one turned me off. Garth Brooks, I've seen a few comments about it.
He has church jeans on.
Well, first of all, I was like, why did they give us the musical introduction and then turn it off for him to go a cappella? And I thought, were they giving him his note? I mean, were they giving him his note? I don't know. Because, I mean, honestly, when he sang, there were some parts where he didn't maintain his pitch throughout the whole thing. Well, not a big deal. No, most people won't even know or care. But some folks said he brought it home and did a whole congregational hymn at the end.
Yeah, everybody, not just me, 2 folks at home. And are we opening the doors to the church afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. He did a congregational hymn. Now, again, not mad, but I was not expecting that at the inauguration. It was a little less formal than we're used to at an inauguration. So
yeah, you know. And I agree, Rye. He was just not interesting. Like the most interesting thing about him was that he took his hat off. Like, and I've never seen him without a hat, and he looked just like a big corn-fed white boy.
Yeah, but I'm glad he did take his hat off because
respect.
Yeah. Somebody else said that he kind of low-key snubbed Madam VP, reached over her to shake Pence's hand, and then looked at Kamala like, "Oh, are you somebody?"
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
I saw that. I was like,
"Wow,
word, Garth."
Right.
Okay.
This is not really a performance, but it was on program when Madam Vice President took her oath of office, and the Honorable Associate Justice to the Supreme Court, Sonia Sotomayor,
fucked up her name.
Yeah, I was trying to ease into it delicately, but that's what happened.
No.
And I was like, "Oh, Sotomayor, how many times have people messed up your name?" And I know after she said it, she went back to the back room and was like, "Oh." You know she did. You know she recognized her mistake. You know she probably beat herself up over it. But girl, those are the kinds of things that when you're a person whose name is often screwed up, you take extra special care to not do it to other people.
And Rye says that's overblown. It can happen to anyone. It can, except Kamala did not come out of nowhere. She has been telling people how to pronounce her name for years. And when she was running for president, she was telling people. When she's named vice president, put on the ticket, she's telling people. There are T-shirts, there are memes, there are so many signals. Write it on the paper. I don't want to hear about it can happen, not today. Like, so think about this. Justice Roberts fucked up the oath when he was giving it to Obama.
Right.
One job, and you're reading it off the fucking paper. Do not talk to me about it can happen to anyone. It's easy. Kamala, write it down if you think you might trip over it. If you don't think, correct yourself. Excuse me.
Correct yourself. That's,
excuse me.
Correct yourself. And again, I go back to, it's, if it's a bunch of paper you're not used to reading every day, I'll give you a stumble. You can correct yourself. But it's a name that we're all saying numerous times a day.
And after the Kamala Lala Lala bullshit, like you should have been really like sensitive to the fact that it's going to come off as disrespect. I hope she sent her a nice note afterwards.
I hope she did too. I don't hope that she beat herself up forever, but I hope that she took the moment to be like, how the fuck did I do that?
Yeah.
Again, I go back to as a person whose name is, although quite phonetic, difficult for some people to pronounce, I am extremely careful about pronouncing people's names who might also be difficult to pronounce because I empathize. And so no, ma'am.
I could not believe it. And Abby Phillip was all of us when she said, and Sotomayor mispronounces her name. Now, Kamala was smooth. She did. She
did what we all do when people mispronounce our names.
I, Tamika, do solemnly swear. And it's just kind of like with the shits again. Like, really? Okay, cool. Cool.
Absolutely. How about all the folks who showed up like they didn't try to overthrow the government 2 weeks ago?
Listen, when I saw Ted Cruz's face, I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me.
And you know what? All members of Congress get an invitation automatically. So we say showed up, but the truth is Biden's team could have suggested that they not come if he wanted to. So they didn't just show up. They were allowed to attend. And they did so, which was, whoo. I mean, now we think about it. If they hadn't come and they had been invited, that would have been a problem too. But still, it was just crazy to see you out there like, this is what we doing? This is what we doing? We just go sit out here like nothing happened.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I just, I don't have it in me. I don't have the gumption, the balls to, let's just say, to show up to a place like after I have been talking cash shit about you, after I have worked to delegitimize your election. you know, it's like, this is not a cocktail party, but that's how y'all treated it. Like, well, we all get invitations. I mean, you're lucky that your names and pictures weren't given to the sergeant at arms to say, but not them. If you see them, tell them, be out. Because, you know, and I mean, what is the consequence? Like, why do you get to just act like nothing happened? Why do you get to show up and, you know, be in my face, smiling and giggling, and it's not like it's just business, it's not personal. It's always personal. Like,
it is.
What you did was not business. It was personal. Yeah,
which is why people are saying, you know, we have these gigantic coachable phase of policy, gigantic calls for unity, and we talked about this last week, but very much fewer, far fewer calls for accountability.
Yeah.
And this was one of those moments where we're exhibiting unity without requiring any accountability. So, I mean, yeah. I love that Meta said it was like the Featheringtons had just shown up.
Right. You know, and everybody was like, these motherfuckers for real? Like, what?
That's a reference to Bridgerton, if you guys have not seen it yet.
So Ted Cruz, Lindsay Graham, Kevin McCarthy, especially, like people who are dying on that cross that they erected out of, you know, moth-eaten, termite-ridden plywood.
Yes.
And just like, I'm here, interview me, come over here, interview me. Like, your presence was not required. It was only requested as a matter of formality.
It is. It's a protocol.
As a matter of protocol. And you had the unmitigated gall to show up. Like, we needed the usher from Bridgerton to be like, the queen would like you to leave now.
Right. In those words, I love it. You're right. This is expected from Democrats overall. Not just expected. It's what we've done. It's historically, that's what Democrats have done. Appeasement. Yeah. So we'll see.
So check this out on that topic. Last night I was watching Chris Hayes because the daytime I watch CNN, nighttime I watch MSNBC. But, you know, I've been feeling some kind of way about this appeasement thing. Those of you that have not read Obama's book, you really should. Like, he talks about how much time he wasted in his first term trying to work with people who were determined. Okay, the sun really like
giving you light that I'm here for. I'm here for it. Come through cheekbones.
But you know, wasting precious time trying to push through, you know, this bipartisanship shit. And it wound up biting Democrats in the butt in the first midterm election. And last night there were two, an Atlantic reporter and a New York Times reporter, who have both written articles basically about, you know, don't do this, Democrats. Like, you've inherited, you got the executive, you have the legislative, like you've got both houses. So don't waste this trying to make friends across the aisle and do things, because Republicans at this time, and they've never not been this way. They're committed to winning. They're not committed to working together to get anything done.
Really,
we continue to bring a knife to a gunfight and try to show that, well, you know, they did it this way, but we're going to take the high road. You know how I feel about the fucking high road. And we're going to show that we can govern together. We can listen. You are going to lose the House and you are going to lose the Senate again if you continue down this road.
Playing chess while they are, playing checkers while they're playing chess. Absolutely. 100%. I'm with you.
So we'll come back to that. But, you know, it's just kind of like, if you consider yourselves historians and, you know, students of the game, then, you know, learn from the not so distant history. What happens when you do this? When you try, I get it. Joe Biden's like, I got friends. Yeah. But this is the game. You can have, friends on the other team all you want to, but you're on this team. This is what we need to be doing right now.
And here's the whole thing. You can still say, I am the president of all the people, because it's true.
Mm-hmm.
You can still say that and still play hardball. You can still play the game the way that they have been playing it forever, and not get your ass whooped. So absolutely.
How about that?
So to end off the inauguration, well, not really, but to performances. I don't know if anybody watched the nighttime events, the parade, and all of the virtual inauguration that happened that night, but I watched a lot of it. And, you know, I have to say about it what I said about, you know, graduation ceremonies last year. My daughter graduated, my youngest graduated from high school last year. And a lot of what they did was virtual. And I thought, while they didn't get that moment that I wish they'd all gotten, they got a lot more thoughtful things. She had, you know, the parade of people who came through and with well wishes and signs. That wouldn't have happened in a regular graduation ceremony, because people come if they can, they don't if they can. They send a card, whatever. We had to be more thoughtful about things. And that's how I felt about the inauguration ceremonies. It was more thoughtful. There were performances and videos and well wishes and stuff from people all across the country. There were different kinds of people from different backgrounds, nods to indigenous peoples, nods to all kinds of marginalized people. This was all in the videotaped thing. It just was more thoughtful than what we would get from a typical inauguration.
Yeah, you know, I still have it recorded. I haven't watched them, but it did give me like convention vibes.
Yes.
Because I thought, you know, people kind of clown the convention for being, you know, overproduced and all of that, but also it gave them the opportunity to be much more inclusive of individuals who otherwise would not have been able to get there and participate and, you know, do some different things. And I kind of got that vibe, like that's what they were going to go for with these, you know, previously it would be like, you know, snapshots from all these different inaugural balls. It's like, you're not there. You're just, you know, watching for set changes and watching for gowns and things like that.
Real, can we keep it 100? How many balls did Obama go to? 12, I think he said in his book. Joe couldn't have done that. Joe could not have gone to 6 inaugural balls. Okay, I was already worried about whether or not he had a nap that day.
Listen, when he ran over to talk to Al Roker when they were walking to the White House, I was like, somebody get Joe.
That part. So I think it was fortuitous for him that everything was virtual. And some of these performances where they just like, I've watched it 3 or 4 times. John Legend singing Feeling Good in front of the Lincoln Memorial. When I tell you chill every time I watch it, it's pitch black except for the lights shining up on Lincoln. His piano is right out there in front of it. And he's singing. I mean, John Legend always sings as if he means every word coming out of his mouth. Saying that shit like when he says freedoms, chills. Okay, chills. And it was produced, but it was actually not overproduced. Now, when Katy Perry did her thing, it was overproduced, supposed to be, and I loved it. Katy Perry came out there looking like a minute man in her dress with buttons. I don't know, but she.
What did she sing? Did she sing Firework?
Firework, and they did a fireworks display. That's how it ended, and it was exactly what it should have been. They're all standing out on the terraces watching it, and it was exactly what it should have been.
Gotcha.
So. I think, like I said, I think that it really caused us to be more thoughtful. It was fortuitous for Uncle Joe because he wasn't gonna make it to 12.
Just a shade, just a skosh.
Now,
I feel like I'm gonna combust.
I will say this is kind of gonna bleed into some of the other stuff that we're gonna talk about, but you know, later in another in one of the press briefings. One of the reporters asked why Biden had his mask off on federal property during the inauguration, considering he'd signed an executive order saying that everyone had to wear masks at all time on federal property. And I was just like,
eat a dick.
Here we go.
Eat a dick.
Here we go.
Eat.
I mean, come on, folk.
Can he have? Okay, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get to that. Okay. So we would be remiss if we did not talk about Amanda Gorman.
Yes, Amanda Gorman, our first youth poet laureate poet. Is that right? Is that the right order of the words?
Youth poet laureate.
Youth poet laureate.
In 2017, yeah. She became
Yeah.
youth poet laureate, yeah. She got out there and she spoke our whole hearts. Mm-hmm. She spoke the hearts of the entire nation. I pulled two passages in particular. First of all, we know she's 22, even though she looks 13. I called her a little girl.
I was like, 22, what?
But I was like, when I was 22. Right. On my Facebook page, I said something about her being, I said, that little girl is like, well, you know, she's 22. And I'm like, yeah, she's still a little girl to me. I'm way over 22.
I have a kid that's about to be 22.
Right. I have kids that are older than that. But I saw that she wore a ring during her performance that had a caged bird in it. It was given to her by Oprah to wear during the reading.
Come on.
And if you don't get the significance of that.
Come on.
Yeah. Maya Angelou's I Know Why a Caged Bird Sings. Just all the greatness, just all the greatness together just makes me want to, But anyway, Amanda Gorman got up there in her caged bird ring and her canary colored coat and her red headband, and she gave us all our lives. Two passages in particular that I pulled out because they were, I was screaming at the TV. My family will tell you. Yeah, and she performed, right? She didn't just perform. She performed her poem. She said, we seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew. Mm-hmm. Even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, you gotta love, first of all, if you've seen any of the interviews, you know, she had been writing a few lines of the poem for weeks leading up to the inauguration. And then on January 6th, after the insurrection, she finished the poem. Mm-hmm. And that is when she wrote this other passage that I'm going to read. And what I love about it is she just told us the truth about ourselves. She did. But she gave us tough love. It wasn't just, she didn't just preach at us. She gave us tough love in that she said, these are the problems, but that doesn't define us and it can't defeat us. The other passages where she said, it's because being American is more than a pride we inherit. Okay, that part, woo!
Yeah, I was like,
woo! Okay, being American is more than a pride we inherit. It is the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it. Yep. Destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. And that was the point at which I wanted to throw a shoe at her. I mean, a shoe, a handkerchief, something evangelical. I needed to
pass a silver dish around to take up the collection.
Something.
I had that passage highlighted as well.
Yes.
And I like even in the beginning when she said to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze, not to what stands between us, but what stands before us.
Before us. Okay.
Come on.
Why is she over here giving tough love?
Someone on Twitter, I think it was Natasha Rothwell, said she wants someone to put this poem on parchment and make it look like the Declaration of Independence and mass produce, do whatever, but put it in the Library of Congress. Because she was like, this is the new declaration right here. This is what she said, what she did.
I mean, that includes us all. Okay.
All of us.
We'll get back to that in a minute when we talk about your boy, 45.
Lord Jesus.
You wanted to talk a bit about Joe Biden and how he, in his speech, tells it like it is, sort of.
Well, you know, we've already touched on it a little bit. You know, as speeches go, I thought it was pretty unremarkable. Like, I mean, I thought it was, good and, let's come together and let's, stop the foolishness. What I really wanted to talk about was the fact that how touched some white people were about the fact that he mentioned white supremacy and defeating white supremacy. And they were like, that has no place in an inaugural speech. And he's calling us racist. And I'm like, oh, did you interpret that to mean he was talking to you?
Right.
He was, but you're telling on yourselves that you're so incensed by the fact that he called a thing.
Yes.
That we're going to, take this seriously. And, we saw it. It's not like I'm making this shit up. Right. And so that's really what I wanted to touch on. I mean, his speech, it was brief. I appreciated that.
Yes.
He was like, one more thing and I'm gone, as my mother-in-law says.
Yeah.
And it was one more thing and he was gone.
Yeah.
But, I was like, what are they going to, parse language about? What are they going to be upset about? And that was the thing. And I was just like, okay, not 5 minutes later, Rand Paul is out here mad. The faux news people are hot because, he said white supremacy. Karl Rove, like, where the hell have you been? Number one. But that's the thing that got you riled up out of all the things that he said. White supremacy, those two words got you hot and in a lather. And I love it. I was like,
they were waiting on it though. They were waiting.
They were. Yes, hit dog will holler.
Yeah, and I love that was immediate. People all got that. The hit dog will holler. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's keep it moving a little bit. Let's see where we are. Okay, we're doing all right on time because we normally do. But let's talk a little bit about missed opportunities with this whole lead up to the inauguration. I saw a friend of mine, a friend of several of ours actually, post on Facebook and probably Instagram, knowing him.
Yeah.
How this was a real missed opportunity for Converse, who's owned by Nike. The whole Chucks and Pearls movement, which was not just a sorority movement and not even just a Divine Nine Black Green Letter organization movement. It was, kind of like a women's movement of wearing the Chucks and the Pearls, which were representative of MVP and things that she commonly wears, the Converse shoes and the pearls that she has been wearing consistently for 1 year. But they really missed an opportunity to, not just to make money off it, because they made money off of it. People were buying Chucks left and right. They made money.
Because I couldn't get any. But
right.
Couldn't find them in my size.
Right. But to acknowledge the movement and certainly the amount of money they made because of it was a real missed opportunity.
It was.
And it's a little surprising considering how Nike is usually so
on top of this.
On top of
and they had time. Like as soon as she was named, they should have flown into orbit with, we're going to do this and we're going to do, and I get it. They couldn't look, like they were picking a side as a corporation, I guess.
I don't know, because they do.
I know, because the other side but anyway, you know how I feel about these companies being like, we're apolitical. No, you're not. But yeah, there could have been, people were out here doing their own thing with these Chucks and Pearls that were like, yo, I want those. They were, putting the pearls on their own shoes. And, it didn't just have to be pink and green Chucks, any color Chucks, any type of pearl T-shirts. If she was an athlete, you would not have missed this.
Nope.
You would not have missed this.
You're so right.
Never mind the fact that everywhere she went, she was hopping off planes and whatnot, dancing on stages in the rain in your brand. But, okay.
Absolutely. Right. Opportunity.
Right. Another $1 billion that y'all could have made, but okay. All right.
And certainly some further goodwill,
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So can we go back in time just a little bit?
Okay.
Go ahead.
One agreement. We're not calling his name. We're not saying his name.
I'm here for it.
we don't say the name. He's Voldemort, so we don't say the name.
Got it. He must not
be talking about the fact that he's been ran and he's going to jail. But other than that, we don't say his name.
Okay, I'm with you. To the morning of the inauguration, bright and early, where the most snivelly, strategic bullshit happened to keep 45 from having to be a part of anything related to the inauguration, to keep 45 from having to ask anything of the new administration. He and his cadre were up and out at dark 30 and took was it no, it was Air Force.
Air Force One.
They took Air Force One to Florida so that they could arrive before noon, so that he would still be president and could therefore
take Air Force One.
Yeah, and take Air Force One, because if he'd waited, he would have done what most presidents do and have to ask and use a different.
Let me borrow your whip. Can I borrow your whip?
Exactly, Marvelo. He's Tom Marvelo Riddle. Yes. Yeah. But anyway, so they got up and out of there. He stops and he talks to the press and basically says, thank you for all you've done. I did a great job. We got a lot accomplished. Yeah.
You keep talking. I'm going to just do the hand signals.
Okay, thank you. You can be my interpreter. Thank you very much. It's been a great honor. You got a little bit. You off camera.
Sorry, I'm here we go.
It's been a great honor. I've really enjoyed my time here. We got a lot done. We accomplished so many things. And now we're going to go on. It'll be great. Have a great life.
Like Ricky Bobby, don't know what to do with my hands.
Right.
Lift or just
yeah. And then they promptly got up. They were holding hands at that point, and everything was great. He had melanoma, and then they got on the
Be Best.
They got on the helicopter, and then they flew to the Air Force Base, where he gave an impromptu speech. He refused to do a scripted speech, and he just went off the cuff, it was so beautiful in its ugliness. It was so epically horrible. It was so on brand.
It so reminded people why they did not respond to the invite, yes, which I would like to add, implored you to bring 5 people with you. Mm-hmm. That's how strapped they were for participants. And the invites went out to people who quit his administration and later talked shit about him in the public. Yeah. Like Scaramucci got one.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Vince got one.
And all of them were like, nah, I'm busy. I'm washing my hair.
Yeah, I think that this is
bring 5 people.
As one news reporter said, Pence just thought that being at the inauguration might be more important. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so he got up there, gave a speech, gave his wife a minute to get on screen and say exactly what Michelle Obama had said. This has been the great honor of my life, and then he got off and he talked about how much how popular she was with the people and how much the people really love her, which is why he let her come up and speak. I don't know who these people are, but okay. And then he gave a speech in which he absolutely says we will be back in one form or another. That terrified me. He also his children sat there and cried like
They cried because they don't have the protection of the office anymore. And the Southern District of New York and the Attorney General of New York, they are coming for them, all of them. Mm-hmm. And I would cry too. I would cry too if I knew this was the last day that I could, with a straight face, assume that nothing was going to happen to me.
Yeah.
I would cry too.
But yeah, not in public. You gotta G up, hold that for the room.
Yeah. But they're not G's. That's the whole thing. That's the whole grift of it, is that you've been mortal, even though you have behaved as though you were immortal and above all of this. At the end of the day, you are just those kids in high school whose parents don't care about them, who come to school and act like the Volturi, like they're all in a bag of chips.
I love all of these references.
And they want to be loved. They want to be liked, just like their fuckboy father. Like, that's all. And the best part of all of this is that we don't know what he's thinking because he's not on social media. We don't know how he feels because he's not on social media. People are not following him around, the golf course that I'm sure he's fucking up at the moment, because nobody cares anymore.
Don't you feel good? Yeah,
I do. I do.
Not being bombarded with his every thought, his every lie, every conspiracy theory.
But that's how you deal with a narcissist anyway, is to take away that thing that brings them the most pleasure, which is attention.
Yes.
That's it. So, that's the best thing.
Yeah. So can we talk about his last minute pardons? And those that he did not give, like to some of the QAnon folks who were expecting pardons and got none.
Fooled you. Fooled you.
I know.
Listen, when they told him that it was not a good idea for him to pardon himself or his kids, he was like, well, shit, if I can't get a pardon, nobody can get a pardon.
Like, hey, so we're Kodak Black at. We're Kodak Black.
So I'm going to pardon a couple. Like, he pardoned Kwame Kilpatrick in Detroit, which had me hollering.
Me too. Where's the way there? Hey, where
get him. Get him. Get Tunchi. And so that's for the Black folks. Now let me get all these other, swamp dwellers that I, claimed I was going to drain. Let me hook them up. But here's the thing. Apparently he didn't really do the paperwork right. This is what's amazing about him. This is what is so amazing. The fact that his shitty attorneys that, are supposed to draw these papers up, people got pardoned for the crimes that they were serving for. They didn't get pardoned wholesale. So if there are pending indictments,
right?
If there's some other shit like Mike Flynn, Paul Manafort confessed to some shit on his way to prison, they can go back and get him. They can go back and if they want to, right? Yeah. And so they were saying that a lot of these pardons really, really were for show, because you didn't even take the time to make sure that it was
so, or they were just narrow out of ignorance.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Because the number of people is not remarkable. Apparently, it is not uncommon to pardon and give clemency to hundreds of people on your way out. So nobody's tripping about that.
100? I thought you got 100.
I think that's been like the going roundabout. But yeah, I think they said Bush might have had he might have had up to 200, and Obama was over 100, and so that's not like, oh my God, there's so many people. But the fact that you kind of half-assed it, these are the people on my list. And the reason you half-assed it is because you did not surround yourself with intellects. You surrounded yourself with dumbasses.
His daughter was helping him in the pardoning process. His daughter was.
Let me tell you something. I want her to get got first, because
Just Comer. She does not really mean she means
no,
get
not get got, like killed. I mean, like get picked up by the legal system. Get got. Right. I want her to get gaffled, to get stole on, if you will, by the legal process, because I want him to hurt. I want him to. And if it's Junior, he won't care. He never cared about him. If it's Eric, he won't care. He never cared about him. But if it's her, yes, it's gonna be some Pepto-Bismol chugging in one hand and white liquor in the other hand, trying to figure out like what I can do, because
his little hands. Deb, yes, Lil Wayne, he pardoned on some a gun charge. It was not just gun. I think it was like he shot somebody.
Well, no, it was a gun charge, and he traveled across states.
Oh, that's
what made it federal.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever. I hope a lot of them. And so here's the other thing: once you get pardoned, you are unable to invoke the fifth. So all of these people that if they have dirt on him, they can be compelled to testify. They can't invoke the Fifth Amendment. So cool. Way to go. Get all your folk that you promised you were going to. Fantastic. Because when the shit storm happens for you, they are going to have to testify or go back.
Yeah.
What shall I do? Shall I go back to prison and having to? Yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and roll over on you, bro.
Yeah. And what Dina said, Wayne is a felon, so he shouldn't have a gun, period.
Facts.
Yeah.
You said something else about these pardons that I wanted to touch on.
I don't know, but think about it while I respond to something that I can't remember if it was Bev or Deb who said earlier about what we didn't talk about was when they got off the plane in Florida.
Yo, the best.
Change clothes.
Me best.
Somebody say if I'm done with this was a person. Yeah, that was her. She got off and he stopped in the way to do the presidential wave, and she's just like,
yeah. But here's the great thing about them. Mm-hmm. He ain't got the money to fulfill his part of the prenup.
Right.
So her melanoma ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Y'all gonna be married in name only for the rest of your life.
I think she knows that, and she's been dissing him like that since the beginning. She knows what she's in. I don't think she's unaware. She knows what she signed up for, but she's like, I ain't gotta like it.
No.
And I ain't gotta act like it. Okay.
I don't feel a bit sorry for her. And here, cue all the stories now talking about how the media's been too hard on her. She was a birther. Fuck her.
Right.
Let me go on record with that. Fuck her.
Absolutely.
Talk about stepping over somebody. Whew.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to our B block, and which is titled #openly black and other disrespectful behavior. Go ahead. Why don't you start this one off, Vicky?
Do you remember coming out to your parents as openly black?
I think it was six. It was after a day on the playground where I was doing either double Dutch. I think it started with double Dutch, and my press started to puff up. And I realized that my hair could not be straight in public anymore. And that was at the point I had to be true to myself and to my parents. And I had to let them know that I was Black.
So for me, it was when we moved to DeKalb County. Mm-hmm. And I went to school with white people for the first time. And someone made fun of my name. Mm. And I realized that my name was different. Mm-hmm. And I had questions. Mm-hmm. And I, was like, I saw that my hair was, in different types of plaits and whatnot. And I was
beads. Did you have beads?
I didn't have beads, but I did have like the fat, you know.
Did you have the big round ponytail holders?
Yes.
Yes.
Match
That's
the outfit.
Early indication of Blackness.
Match the outfit. And I had to let my parents know, I think I was 8.
Yeah.
8. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to live as a Black person, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. And how did your parents take it? Were they receptive? Were they?
You know what? They were like, we always knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
We always knew. But welcome. What the fuck is openly Black? The nerve.
I know.
The nerve.
I know. Okay, please explain.
All right. So for those of you that have ever watched either Chris Cuomo or Don Lemon, their shows bookend. So Chris Cuomo's show comes on and then he hands it off to Don Lemon. And it often they have like a 5 or 10 minute kind of handoff exchange where they chop something up. They're friends. They, have debate. And sometimes when they're debating racial topics, Chris Cuomo will take he'll play devil's advocate. So this guy, and I was looking for the article this morning so that I could name him, but I think I won't name him, wrote an article where he actually was trying to throw shade at Chris Cuomo for taking the not all of us side. And he wasn't, to be clear, Chris Cuomo's not that guy. He was like, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. What about blah? But anyway, the author of this article took exception. And when he came to Don Lemon's response, he said, Don Lemon, comma, who is openly Black, comma, blah, 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 blah.
You mean to tell me all these years I could have been in the closet with my
shit? Right. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that I could be closeted and be Black. I did not know. And here's how you know that a non-Black person wrote this.
Yes. There are other ways to know.
Right. But here's a definite way to know, because, inside the Black community, we do have lots of different descriptors. Mm-hmm. We have gradations, if you will. My husband and I were talking about this yesterday of Blackness. Like you can, oh my God, you're so Black. Oh my God. And not to say that you're dark skinned.
One time. And then it's like,
right.
Oh, he's Black. He Black.
Right. That was so Black. Or that was, whatever. But at no time ever has openly been part of the lexicon. Even if we're trying to say someone is not acting Black, we haven't said openly Black, like acting Black, like all these things that we
unapologetically.
That's what I said, right? We talk about being open for things when you can be secret about it.
Right.
You can't be secret about. Is it a secret? Did you guys know I was Black until I told you a few minutes ago?
I mean, I've known you for a long time, so I knew. We've had
I saw it in you, but
right.
But openly Black. So of course, they had some fun with that the next night where, Don Lemon was like, by the way, I'm Black. And Chris Cuomo said openly, and Don was like, openly. But it's just one of these things, again, that's like, who greenlit this, who saw this and didn't say, hold up, what's openly Black? And then I think further in the article, he tried to address what he meant and made it worse, because it's like, you don't need to be saying this. You're not part of the club.
Right.
You're making up descriptors that are dangerous and
reckless,
offensive. Yes, reckless and offensive. And, how long before that weasels its way into our lexicon to mean something? I don't want that phrase. That phrase is like, I don't, you made it up. And what does it mean?
Tiff, you are hilarious.
Oh. Yes, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Miss Tiff Star, you win. But
exactly.
but In this particular case, that moniker was not necessary or deserved. Like, what are you trying to say here? Why are you trying to be cool? Why are you trying to sound like you're part of the club? You are not.
Yeah. And to be clear, there are many clubs of which we are not part. There are, I understand when I'm not part of the club, and that's when I keep my mouth shut. I just highly recommend that practice. My husband said, "Oh shit, you're Black." Yep.
Yeah. For divorce.
I can tell you, but your kids are too.
Right.
Mitch McConnell. You know what? You can talk about Mitch.
Well, Mitch McConnell's still trying to run shit. And this goes back to my earlier point about this.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let me interrupt you. I'm sorry. Somebody said everyone can't see Tiff. What did she say? She said, "I remember the moment Mariah became openly Black. JK, ha, ha, ha." Right.
Yes. Right around the time she started taking her clothes off and trying to shake her non-existent ass, but whatever. Mitch McConnell is out here trying to work with the majority leader, that's not him anymore, on a power sharing agreement. He's trying to dictate terms and say what he will and won't do, what the losing caucus will and won't do if you try to take away my power, my veto power, i.e. the filibuster, how I'm just going to stall out all of your legislation. And, when I first heard about this power sharing agreement, I was like, I'm calling bullshit on this because, and someone ran it last night. The receipt on Mitch is his own words, as per usual, about
always
about what losers do and what winners do. And he said winners make policy. And I don't know what the losers do. So y'all lost.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard that, we knew Chuck Schumer was going to wind up being the majority leader. And I feel some kind of way about these old people who they only know one way. They know to, like we said earlier, try to reach across the aisle and get things done together and all of this. And I'm like, fuck all of that. Chuck Schumer was supposed to tell Mitch, sit your $5 ass down. I know they have like a 50-50 majority and they have to, look, we got 51. That's was factual. We have 51. And so what you're not going to do is be holding press conferences trying to dictate what I'm going to do. We'll let you know what's going to happen. And we'll give you some, some say, but we'll keep it right over here.
Number one, we knew that this was what Mitch McConnell was going to do. This is what he does. And this is why I don't understand
how you reelected him.
Exactly. That's number one. Number two, Chandler says Mitch looks like Franklin the Turtle's discarded skin, and I can't unsee that.
And also looks like Mason Verger from the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. And if you haven't seen it, Google Mason Verger. That is who he actually looks like. But yes, Chan, yes.
And number three, the average, you're talking about, they only know this one way of doing things. The average age of the members of Congress is what, 60 something.
60 something.
That's the average age of the members of Congress, and the average age of Americans is 38. So
you don't represent who you think you represent. I know that there's rules. Like I think it has, how long you've been in there, but I'm like, okay, let me give you a listing of people I would rather see as the majority leader. And this is saying a lot. I would rather see Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders don't give a fuck. He's like, you don't need the GOP to do any of this shit. Mm-hmm. I would rather see Elizabeth Warren. Mm-hmm. I would rather see any fucking body than Chuck Schumer, because Chuck Schumer, he doesn't even come off with BDE. He comes off like I'm old and decrepit. And this is, you need somebody with some big dick energy, period. Yeah. That's like,
right.
I'm sorry, I keep leaning the wrong way.
Right. Yeah.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and I'll take it into consideration. Okay. Anyway, that's
coming with the Nancy Pelosi energy.
With some NPE. How about that? I mean, and even her to a degree. Like I get that she has shown and proven that she knows what to do, but I would rather see someone younger than her.
Well, absolutely.
Be the majority.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but her energy, yes, is unmatched. Mm-hmm. But Chuck is not Nancy. And you know, these older cats are just kind of like, you know, everybody needs to calm down and, you know, it's going to be okay. And it's not okay. And it's not going to be okay. And even yesterday when they were like, you know, Chuck basically told Mitch that's not going to happen. I don't believe you. I don't believe that he believes you. Mitch doesn't believe you. Mm-hmm. I told him, no way, that doesn't work for us. Is that what you, those are probably your exact words too. Sit your ass down. I don't want to hear from you. When we want your opinion, we'll give it to you.
Yeah. So let's talk a little, some Auntie Max energy too. Yes, that's what we need. Mm-hmm. Her energy is just like sometimes like, dang.
Right.
Her energy.
What we need is Cori Bush energy.
That's what we need.
That's the energy that we need. Yeah. It's some AOC energy. And I know people feel some kind of way about her, but her energy is
undeniable. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. 1776 Commission report released, of course, on MLK Day, because why not? I don't know if you heard all of those seditionists, those insurrectionists, those felons, when they were storming the Capitol, referring to it as 1776. Today it's 1776. And in the same way, on MLK Day, 45's 1776 Commission, which BT dubs was dissolved by an executive order just 2 days ago.
Because it's bullshit.
Yes. Most of a great portion of which was lifted from something that was written by an author previously. Basically said it justified slavery. It justified the 3/5 compromise. It is a basic. You know what I feel like. We all know that it was a response to the 1619 project.
Yes.
We all know that.
Look at who they have on page 2 of this bitch. You have the nerve.
Yep. But it's the same nerve that white folks always use.
Yes.
Is to use MLK and the Bible to justify all of their trash. But it basically says that, you know, slavery was what it was and it was not unique to America, and calm the fuck down.
Because they think that the charge that was leveled, first of all, they think it's an accusation. That slavery is an accusation and not a real thing that happened.
Right.
But they think that the salient point is that it was unique to the United States.
Right.
Ain't nobody said slavery was unique. No. What was unique about slavery in the slavery in the United States, the way that it morphed, that was unique. Other countries weren't doing that. So when you want to be all, well, you know, they had slaves in other eras and other times and other civilizations. Yes, they did, as a result of war. As a result of, you know, we came, we saw, we conquered, now you work for us. Now this is our country. That is not what happened here.
Yeah. Not to mention that in our country, and I think we've talked about this in a previous episode long ago on IG Live, but our government, our economy was complicit in the slave trade because of the way that we handled bankruptcies regarding the slave trade. So our government were slave traders, not just individuals.
Yes.
And the thing is, like you said, they take it as, but we're not saying that it's unique, but that doesn't mean that it's okay just because it's not unique.
And they tell some bald-faced lies in here. And, you know, there's no, I'm going to take it down, but, you know, it's out there. I Googled it because I wanted to know. There's no footnotes. There's no, you know, references. This is someone who sat down and was like, the 1619, you know, grinds my gears. So here's what we're going to say about it. and this is going to be forever it. And it's like, no, no, fuck, it's not. Like, people are going to teach this as yet another example of how committed you are to the lie of who founded this country, and on what premise, and, and all the things that have happened since. Again, no one is saying that the founding fathers didn't do a good thing in breaking from the Church of England and breaking from King. No one is saying that. What we're saying is there's more to the story.
Yeah, and tell it all.
We're going to stop telling the story. I mean, about George Washington having wooden teeth. No, he didn't. He had the slaves in his mouth. Mm-hmm. He dedicated part of his life to chasing down one slave. Right. That doesn't mean that he didn't lead us through the Revolutionary War. You
understand that our founding is complex, and they don't. And I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
We can state fact without being offended by it. You need to be able to accept fact what is. And Andy, you talk about you can't. It's not a scholarly work without footing. They poo-poo scholars.
Mm-hmm.
Scholars, they
wrote the other thing.
Yeah, they have no love for scholars. You know this. And you're right, they don't want to be complex. Mm-hmm. And I started to say when I was thinking about this that they're always so reactionary. And then I stopped myself and I said, no, you know what? Black Lives Matter was a reaction to a real thing, to real things that were happening. That's reaction. I said they are counterfeit, I think is a better phrase for what they do. This 1976 commission report is a counterfeit of the 1619 Project. Mm-hmm. Everything they do is a counterfeit of something real and factual, and they don't care because in creating their counterfeits, they do what all counterfeiters do. They try to pass it off as real. Mm-hmm. Yes, scholars are elitist. They don't want to be, they eschew scholarship.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, if you feel like it and you want to waste some life minutes, go read it just so you can know what the fuck people are out here believing.
And what was almost going to be foisted on your schools to teach.
Please believe it.
The plan was for this to be the way.
Yeah.
And as if our history books aren't already shitty and teaching kids that, slavery was an agreement, that for the low cost of being able to survive the middle
servitude,
give you some work, let you sleep on some floors and have some food and, it was a handshake,
Right. Oh yeah.
It's only 45 pages though.
What'd you say?
It says only 45 pages.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Also, Trump had already made it. Oh shit! Sorry. 45 had already 750 had already made it. Had already made it. I don't know if it was illegal, but it was you weren't supposed. It was a policy violation at the very least to do any kind of DEI training. Governmentally anyway, federally. You couldn't do any kind of diversity, equity, or inclusion training. And you couldn't talk about systemic racism. And that's what they were looking to eliminate from the very few, because don't believe that there's a whole proliferation of schools out here teaching about systemic racism, but he was trying to make sure that none of them were, that it's a falsehood, which is also part of what the report says, that systemic racism is a falsehood. So yeah, read it because that almost became part of what children are learning out here. And thank you to Uncle Joe for dissolving that commission immediately.
I mean, I'm looking at a sentence right now that says, I shit you not. Civics and government classes should rely almost exclusively on primary sources.
That calls for no interpretation. That calls for no. You can put things in a modern. Okay.
You know that the Huffington Post is a blog, right? You would not cite it You would cite who's cited in the article. Like Wikipedia is not a primary source.
Exactly.
This is not even Wikipedia.
Right.
Okay. The gall.
On more fuck shit that the repugnants are doing, and as we said before, don't get it twisted. I have nothing against all Republicans. I know a lot of people who have similar beliefs to me do, but no, there are some repugnants out there.
Yeah, I mean, you let this cancer infect your party.
Absolutely that. But Marjorie Greene out here filing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden, as she promised. You gotta admire that she's a woman of her word. She said she was gonna do it, and she did. They are hilarious. In that,
as is she,
because they are for abuse of power when he was a vice president. She's trying to have him impeached as president because he abused his power as a vice president.
Okay, a bit of context. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a proud member of QAnon and was elected in the great state of Georgia to the House to represent a district.
Yep.
Okay. Continue.
Absolutely that. And she was ready. She told y'all she was going to do it. She got out here and did it. Supposedly, like I said, he abused his power. I don't know. Where did he do that at? How is that a thing? Can I get some attorneys on here to tell me? I mean, not that it's going anywhere. We all know it's going nowhere because we have, a House and Senate. It's going nowhere. But can somebody please tell me how you can impeach somebody on something they did in a previous position? Is that even, does she realize she's wasting everybody's time?
What power as the vice president did he abuse?
Right.
I'm really curious. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Wasting, having a tantrum. Counterfeiting
a little video from a tunnel. Like, are you with Al Qaeda? Like, where are you right now? Talking about, I filed articles of impeachment against Joe Biden. You're welcome. Like, fuck you.
Right. And she's counterfeiting the real articles of impeachment that were filed against 45. That's, again, with the counterfeit.
He's also one of the ones that wanted to go around the metal detectors, her masks that she wears reluctantly. And can we just pause a moment and talk about the NPE, the Nancy Pelosi energy of being like, I don't give a fuck if you wear a mask in here or not. I'm docking your pay if you don't, though.
Right.
You're grown. I don't argue with adults.
Nope. Yep.
You are supposed to have a mask on in here, and if you're not, I'm fucking with your money. You understand that?
That you understand that, right?
It's not a question. I'm not going to pull you to the side. I'm not going to tell you to put it on. I'm docking your pay. The end.
Yeah. Let me just speak the language you speak.
Right. But she wears the mask that says things like censorship and Trump.
Yeah. And you are on national television. You are not being censored. You are not.
Yes. Do you all understand censorship? Like, even when he got kicked off of social media, this person, as Brian Williams said, the twice impeached former occupant of the White House, who had the biggest pulpit on the planet. It's called the press briefing room. Yep. It's called the resolute that called the press to you. If you got something to say and you
use it,
Censorship. Okay. All right. But yes.
Yeah. Someone trying to get a gun on the House floor. Yes.
Going around. What year they do? I guess they really think we're living in 1776 because last I checked, it was illegal to have weapons in a federal building. Mm-hmm. It was illegal to have weapons in DC. Like their gun laws are some of the strictest. Like, you are not supposed to have guns.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, so first question. Where were you and your weapon when the Capitol was breached, because methinks you were somewhere pissing your pants like everybody else. Mm-hmm. So why now do you need a weapon on the floor? Like, when are we trying to become the countries that we have laughed at on Tosh and where fisticuffs break out and then people start brandishing weapons? Like, is that what we're supposed to do now when we disagree? We just bust? Like, that's the new busted challenge? Like, I'm just, I don't understand. Just like I don't understand why they're still arguing about guns. They're going to take our guns. Who?
Yeah, who?
Who? And no one has taken. No one has even made moves to take your guns. Not liberals, not Republicans. Nobody has been like.
Can I let you in on a little secret? Black Democrats ain't trying to take your guns
because they got them.
They got them. Black Democrats got them, and if they ain't got them, they're getting them. They're not trying to take your guns.
No one has been trying to take your guns. Okay. So she gets a sit your ass down award today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sit your ass
down. So Tamika, the Madam Vice President's husband, Doug Emhoff, there's some talk over him being called the second gentleman, which he absolutely is. It's the appropriate name. If you're the second lady, when you're married to a male vice president, then you're the second gentleman. I mean, it's protocol. It matches. It fits the format. I don't
Ladies and gentlemen, the dream team in the house. Yeah.
Anyway, it fits the format. I don't understand the confusion. But apparently some people have issue with it. They think it's emasculating somehow.
Yeah. Cishet old white men think that it's emasculating.
Make it make sense. Help me.
What else are we supposed to call him? I'm curious, like y'all out here, like what else would be fitting of the husband of the second most powerful woman in the
wrong answers only.
Wrong answers only. We're not serious. Like he is the second gentleman. That is what's up. And he knows it and he's embracing it. Yeah. And you know, this obviously is a vestige of not believing women hold the primary role, because no one argued about it being the second lady, which to me sounds subservient as fuck. Like the second lady, like
it does.
But you know, I'm curious.
Yeah. Right. I see second dude, as Chandler said, vice president, because that's what they would like to.
Yeah. That's what they would like to call him. They would like to have her, you know, serving tea and shit. But
absolutely.
Real life.
Absolutely.
Just curious. Yeah, keep those coming. Like as you think of some, even after we've moved on, like drop it in there, because I'm curious. Like,
yeah. Yeah. What else would he be called? These dudes, I mean, with these fragile, I mean, I want to say, you know, we all know about toxic masculinity, but this is just fragile masculinity.
I feel like fragile is too strong of a word. It's like thready.
Yes, thready masculinity.
You know, it's like hanging on by just the babiest of breaths. Like, and it's not even you. So you're out here trying to, you know, force your agenda. These are the same people who were quick to say Dr. Jill Biden's not a real doctor.
Right.
First of all, dead that shit. But y'all act like she came in like, I'm going to be giving first aid to people.
Right. I mean, ministers all the COVID shots.
I mean, Rand Paul is a real doctor.
Right.
He ain't no real damn doctor. I would not take his advice if my life depended on it.
Yeah.
High key would not.
And why all of a sudden are we trying to strip people of their, I mean, when you go to college, which supposedly all of y'all have been to, and you talk to your professors who have PhDs, you best call them doctor, or you're gonna have issues in your class. Why is this all of a sudden an issue? You know, the only people with advanced degrees that have a doctor in their name who we don't call doctor are lawyers, because they have a Juris Doctor, and we the only don't call.
I was just having this conversation yesterday.
Yes.
And maybe they should start enforcing that shit. Being a doctor.
Yep.
And you know, It's interesting to me because Black women are usually the ones who suffer from, I'm going to call you by your name. I'm not going to call you Dr. So-and-so. I know several MDs who have this issue, but definitely PhDs who people get really too familiar with them too quickly. And so the fact that it's happening to Dr. Jill Biden is like, so yes, I'm always going to refer to her as Dr. Jill Biden.
Yeah, she's Dr. Jill. Dr. Jill.
Dr. Jill, Dr. Lewis, because that's who the fuck I am.
Yes, that part. And
yes, on my name.
I like that one. He's
the purse holder. My money. This is my money guy.
Right.
They should call him Jerome. Remember in Purple Rain when that chick jumped out and was like, Morris, I can't believe that. He said, Jerome. Yeah. Jerome threw her ass in a dumpster. That's who Doug Emhoff is. He's Jerome.
Yes, he's Jerome. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Y'all, people are mad that Joe Biden was sworn in at 11:48 a.m. on Wednesday, January the 21st, and shit did not change immediately.
At 12:03. Yeah.
And by people, I mean people on the right.
No, I'm going to disagree with you. A lot of people on the left too are like, all right, where my stimulus check at, Joe? And I'm like, calm down.
Right. Okay. Yes. Yes. Them too.
People who are like, yeah, I need my $2,000, Joe Biden.
People with
student loan debt cancellation, Joe Biden.
Right. Then sign that executive order. Where's that shit at? People on the right who have news channels.
Yes.
Out here talking about on Thursday night, no less. Now remember the timeline. Wednesday, swearing in. Thursday, it's been 24 hours. Thursday night, it's been 30 hours. Mm-hmm. Sean Hannity out here talking about Joe Biden's disastrous first week.
Sir, week?
Now I know that it felt like 20 years when the other guy was in office. I know we got used to like a different time space continuum. Right. Back to normal 24 hours, and it hasn't been a fucking week. No. So I'm gonna need you to. In another report, someone talked about Joe Biden being responsible for 400,000 COVID-related deaths.
Yeah. And I can't remember if it was Tucker Carlson, or if it was Sean Hannity, but I think it might have been Sean Hannity too, with the ticker across the bottom. Joe Biden has been president for a day and 400,000 people are dead. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
And see, that's the difference between opinion masquerading as news and news.
Yes.
And even if that was your opinion, that's wrong. Like that, your opinion is uninformed at best. Hubs said, and I 110% agree, that they should have restarted like whatever it was at 11:59 on Wednesday, whatever the death toll was, they should draw a hard line. And then from 12:01 p.m. to now, how many people have died on Joe Biden's watch? Because we knew that this is what they were going to do. We knew they were going to immediately. Yes, he has inherited this fuck shit that is, the COVID response and all of that. Yes. And now he has to move forward and figure out how to get the ship steered in the right direction. So, but responsible for 400,000? Right. No, that was your guy. I mean, this happened on his watch because he also is not a doctor. So responsible is kind of a strong term, but it happened on your watch. All of this sudden transference of fuckery, like we did a transfer of power. We did not do a transfer of fuckery. All of that is on his pistol. That is not on Joe Biden's pistol. Like we'll stop doing that.
Right. I mean, we're not going to stop.
No, we're not. No, we're not. They've even started saying, oh, well, they stopped showing the death toll now that. They did not stop showing the death toll. What we've started reporting on is how many people are getting vaccinated, because that's the story right now.
Right. We're reporting on how we're going to fix this shit, or at least try to contain it. Yeah, that part. Yeah. So
switching gears.
Yeah, I mean, like totally switching your
hard left.
I don't see a way to connect these, but yeah, hard left. But it's still under the realm, under the headline of disrespectful behavior. And that is your boy Armie Hammer. Okay.
I'm gonna put it up because I bet dollars to pesos, a lot of people don't know what's going on with Armie Hammer.
Okay, so do y'all know who Armie Hammer is, first of all?
First of all.
Actor.
He played the Winklevoss twins in the Social Network. And yes, he played both of them.
Mm-hmm. He is not at all unattractive.
Not at all. This is Armie Hammer. Like, and that's not even a great picture.
Yeah, that's not even a good picture. Yeah. But tell the story.
Armie was working on a movie with Jennifer Lopez. I don't even know what the movie is about. Sorry, I was just having an Armie appreciation moment. And some texts leaked that the first story was, is Armie into cannibalism? And it was like, wait, what? Like, that's his kink? Cannibalism? That's deep, bro.
I don't have that a kink. I'm sorry. That's
what they said. That's how the article, the slant, right? Yeah. And so he stepped away from said movie because he's like, I'm being a distraction right now. Yeah. And more people came out of the woodwork to corroborate said kink.
Please explain the kink.
Let's just get back to the headline.
Okay.
Armie Hammer wanted to cut off girlfriend's toe and keep it in his pocket. These are the sorts of text exchanges that women who have dated him have said that he was about. More, rape, cannibalism, people have alleged that he grooms them for this. Like, he's all, sweetness and light and flowers and candy and gifts and I love you, I love you, I love you. And then he drops the hammer, no pun intended, with wanting to, have have one of your ribs removed and eat it. What the fuck?
Yeah. Mutilation. He's into that shit. Also, one of his ex-girlfriends came out recently saying that he branded her with a hot knife. Another actress, yes. That Armie is into some
he's into some shit.
Yeah. I'm usually team don't kink shame people, but shame.
I'm scrolling through,
Okay, there you go. Do y'all see that?
I feel like the same way you are on one side of the slave spectrum, I am on the other side of the master spectrum. And I can't ever imagine another slave. And whoever, this person says he literally had multiple slaves when he said this. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Nope. Yeah.
I mean, living out his Christian Grey fantasies. I am 100% a cannibal. I want to eat you.
That's scary to admit.
I've never admitted that before. I feel like you say that on week 6 with everyone.
Yeah, that's whole next level. That is
I'd chase you down and pounce on you so fast if you tried to walk away. You'll need something strong to hold me back from you. Like,
yeah. I mean, y'all, Armie needs therapy and possibly some handcuffs.
and not in a good way.
No, not in a good way.
Your man's is
he needs some meds, he needs a prayer, he needs whatever, all the good things that we can send his way for healing and light, because he is sick and dark.
He is on some shit. So y'all just pray for Armie.
Do something, and maybe burn some sage as well to keep him away from your domicile, because Armie want to eat people.
Yes, he wants to eat your ribs.
Yes, there you go.
He took Bruno. Wasn't it Bruno Mars that had the songs "I Want to Fuck You Like a Gorilla" or "Fuck You Like an Animal" or some shit?
Like gorilla.
It's like, yeah, no, I'm on some next level shit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Well,
So there you go. Just wanted to give y'all that piece of information for no reason.
I just felt. I mean, it's it was filed under and other disrespectful behavior. Like, don't want to eat one of my fucking ribs. Like,
right? That's
you mean I'm gonna cook some baby bags? No, yours.
Right.
The ones down here are kind of
prepared.
They're not necessary. So there's a surgery that can be done, and they can just take it and I can boil it and eat it.
Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. Let's hit this C block, y'all. And let's have some fun. Executive orders.
All right. Go. By executive decree, we will now refer to Jill Biden as Dr. FLOTUS. Michelle Obama will remain forever FLOTUS.
Forever FLOTUS.
Executive order. I just signed it.
There you go. We don't need a motion from the floor. It is what it is.
I don't need a second. It is what it is. Dr. FLOTUS, forever FLOTUS. We will not speak of Be Best.
Yeah.
Melanoma FLOTUS.
44, 46. It's like watching the inauguration and then watching the presidents come together to have their little talk.
Circle.
Yeah, it was just really like, I'm so glad he didn't come to the inauguration.
That's what they were saying.
Yes, he would have ruined it. He would have ruined the vibe. But also, it was like for a moment we could pretend he didn't exist. We could pretend it never happened. It was just like a bubble, a moment in time where we acted like it just never happened.
It never happened.
And Andy, we signed each letter of Twofer with a different pen. So we got numerous pens to share from that executive order. Okay. And Sharpie. Y'all, let's talk about the press briefings. Have y'all
seen the press briefing?
Huh? I mean, please tell me y'all watched. Please.
If you haven't, get you some. It is refreshing. It is a tall drink of refreshing ass water.
Yes, it is. Not ass water. Refreshing - ass water.
Correct. Ass water was what we had before. Jen Psaki is Abby Whelan. She's like the in real life Abby Whelan.
Yeah. Yes.
She's red hair. She came to the mic on the first day and was like, "These are the rules." We're not always going to agree.
Yeah.
But I believe in a free press. She said, "I abide." I believe her. She said, I believe in a free press, and I will answer questions truthfully and to the best of my ability. And we will not always agree, and that's okay.
And that's okay. She is so utterly informed, so okay with saying, "I don't know, but I will find out." She is so unflappable when they come to her with the bullshit. It was unavoidable. They were going to bring the bullshit to her.
They even still have PTSD. So they're still trying her to see, like, are you going to vamp out? Are you going to wolf out? And
so somebody else up here next week.
First of all, my girl said, since the inauguration hours ago,
right,
the president has signed, You all received a packet with all of that. But for the people watching at home, I'm going to go through all of them.
Yes. And then every time they ask a question, she's like, "Okay, well, as your packet."
Let me, on page 4 of your packet.
Right.
People were adequately spaced and socially distanced.
Listen, let me tell you about
their fucking masks on.
Let me tell you how much I love the setup. Yes, because it is social distance.
Hey, Quasi, what's up?
Hey, I love that. I love the setup, not just because it is compliant with the COVID-19 suggestions, but also because we are not fitting so many people in here that we're jockeying for time. We can hear the questions being asked. We can hear her responses to them. She can make sure that she is varying the outlets and reporters that she's choosing to speak.
She lets them finish their question before she starts to answer.
And there's time for follow-up questions because we don't have 9 people in the room.
Ooh.
I'm just like, this is so beautiful. This is what it should be. And yes, it's just boring and truthful. And I have just a special place in my heart for people who can say, I don't know. I just,
listen.
It is the best thing.
Even Fauci said it when he showed up the next day. He was like, this administration has a new thing where if you don't know, you just say you don't know, you don't guess. Yes. I was like, oh, shots fired. I love it. Right. I love it.
It's so beautiful.
She something that happened the other day, someone was there and had a question for someone who wasn't there. They were like, because of the restrictions on how many people can be in the room, I have a question for someone else. And she did not say, well, nah. She was like, okay. So the person asked their question and then asked the other person's question. And it was like, okay, and yes, now we're moving on. It doesn't feel adversarial at all.
At all.
She has had moments where she's had to, get with somebody, where she's had to gather.
Because they try to comfort her still. But she is with them in a way that says, okay, honey.
Okay, I see what you're trying to do.
Right.
I'm not having it. And here's the answer to your question. Somebody asked her something about some bipartisanship, and she's like, really? Like, do Republicans not want their children to go to school safely? Do they not want to be able to put food on their tables? Because last time I checked.
Yeah, the question was basically, so Biden keeps talking about this bipartisanship and this unity he wants to have, but we're seeing a lot of rhetoric. We haven't seen him put a bunch of Republicans on his cabinet. We haven't seen him. Basically they were saying, where's the walk and not just the talk? And she's like, have y'all seen this shit he's done?
Right. And also been not even 48 hours.
Right.
I know she wants to hand out.
In day 2 of this administration, she keeps saying that. In day 3 of this administration, yes, Fauci is living his best life today.
We're going to talk about him next.
Yes, please do. You know what? I've seen that song you have on here, Fauci Return of the Mac. I have seen that song played when he walks to the podium.
It's a slow walk. Jen walks away and he walks up and it's boom, 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 boom. Yes, because listen, I heard the other day, somebody said, I heard, it's not a rumor, but someone stated the other day that Dr. Fauci is 80. And I was like, shit. He has gone back in time since Monday.
Yes, he has.
Right. He looks so completely different. And I'm looking for the picture because it was amazing watching him come to the mic with a smile on his face, geek the fuck out about science, explaining like the only thing that could make it better. And I literally tweeted at the White House and at Jen Psaki, like, let him bring his PowerPoint, because a lot of people talk about, like, I was all like, yeah. And Kevin was like, wait, what? Hold up. And I was like, a picture would be fantabulous. But we get that he hasn't had that before. It did not occur to anyone, but he should be sitting at a desk being like with his pointer.
Yeah.
Let me find the picture, because boy, just what a difference a year makes.
Yes. Doesn't it? And so needed him. We so needed science, and I'm so glad he's back. And he's back without having me. Without, I'm very happy to be here. Yes.
I'm very happy to be here. Let me see if this one doesn't come up all super pixelated and whatnot.
All right, let's check it out. Let's see our boy at the podium.
Wait a minute.
It won't work for you. It's okay.
No. I got a little too excited. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have the Hulk over his shoulder. Exactly.
Yeah. So this is him laughing the other day. This is him the day that Trump said drink bleach. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, Voldemort.
Yes.
Out, you know, on talk shows. He was on Maddow last night. He, you know, he is being very honest. Like, that was the funniest part when he came to the press briefing and someone asked him, like, oh, you know, you joked about you know, being able to come to the mic and talk science. And, you know, he let him get his question out. He said, I wasn't joking. His answer was, I wasn't joking. To be able to come up here and talk about the data and talk about science and not have someone editing my comments is liberating. That is what he said. It's liberating. Yes, honey. And you know, not to be outdone, Deborah Burke's out here talking about, I wanted to quit, but you didn't. So be quiet.
But you didn't. Yeah.
But you didn't.
Applause for Dr. Fauci. We're glad to have you back. Welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Thanks, Tony.
So we got a few more things to run through in this last block. Did anybody watch the Keisha Cole versus Ashanti versus battle? I was not, you know, going to dedicate life minutes to that, but I did watch a few clips, and I would love to know if anybody's watched it, what your thoughts were. For those of you who are not familiar with Versus TV, it's a handle on Instagram, and it started during the pandemic where artists would battle each other. Basically, it's just you know, a DJ set of their old music, but put in kind of like a battle format. And there have been some great ones throughout 2020. That since March, I think, is when they started, or February. There were some amazing ones. This one is not one that I was really excited about because, I mean, it's Ashanti and Keisha Cole.
I was like, I can name 2 Keisha Cole songs. I just was not checking for her. I think I had aged out of that genre.
Yeah.
That hollering, whatever. Ashanti had bangers. Can sing? I mean, come on. I mean, she can sing well enough.
Not all of her bangers were exclusively hers. A lot of her shit was
some of her bangers were sung by J-Lo.
Right, exactly.
So when she popped positive for COVID, I thought that the memes about if only there was someone who could stand in for her, and there were pictures of J-Lo. It's like,
right.
Who was late? Somebody was late to this joint.
Keisha Cole was late and attitudinal. She came in late as hell and with an attitude. And that's, folks are like, Keisha had the songs, but apparently her vocals were trash, you know, because they try to sing over them. And Ashanti has been been working with the vocal coach because she's out here doing what she does at the highest level. Now, we know what Ashanti does, but Deb said boobs and shiny legs everywhere.
That's what I heard.
Yes. But yeah, apparently Keisha was just she was in a mood. But also some of the big controversy was OT Genesis, who you may or not be familiar with. You may know his song. From Beyonce more than from him.
Yeah.
I mean,
money. Everybody, man.
We know that because of Beyonce, not because of OT.
Exactly, because I had never heard of this person.
Right. He had a baby with Malika. If you follow the Kardashians, he had a baby with her. Anyway.
Wait, who's Malika and what does she have to do with the Kardashians?
Malika Hashi's best friends with
okay. I was like, they have a sibling named Malika. Okay.
You know, she's one of the twins. She was in Sky High. She's one of the twins at the Hodges. They're Black.
Oh no, like from ATL?
Yes.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no! I love them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're always in the show. They're best friends with Chloe.
I would never know that because I don't fuck with the Kardashians.
I know that. So anyway, he during the pandemic went on this thing where he kept singing Keisha Cole's "Love." He was recording himself singing that.
That's one of the songs that I can name.
Disrespectfully, and apparently he went on this rant talking about Keisha's mother and how he had sold her crack.
Oh no.
So I mean, just really, really bad stuff. And she brought him out as a surprise guest when they played that song during her set. And people were like, "You gonna get on Al Gore's internet and talk about how you sold my mom crack, and then I'm gonna bring you on as a surprise guest?" And no, even her sister got on social media after that, was like, "Nah, player. That's not how we do things." So all that to say, apparently the viewership, and probably because of the disaster that it was one of the highest for Versus. But every review I've seen said it was trash. It was.
I saw fans saying in real time, I don't know if I would rather them lip sync or no, it was something to the effect of stop trying to sing your songs, like stop trying to actually sing them.
Yeah, we just need the produced version. How about that?
The version that we like.
Yeah, that part. And apparently, I saw a comment come up while they were waiting for Keisha to get on from Swiss Beats, who is one of the organizers of Versus, who was like, basically, this is disrespectful as fuck. And
I know disrespect.
Right, I know disrespect. So yeah, that was not a Versus battle that probably is going to go down as one people want to rewatch, but
now I kind of want to see it because I'm like, oh, okay, so there was some drama.
Yeah, so there you go.
Because their songs, their catalogs aren't enough for me to want to watch it.
That's right. But you know what? Whenever you watch any of the Verses, you always go, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that one." You know, they always spark a bit of nostalgia.
Yeah.
But not so much that I feel like, compelled.
Yeah, no, I was actually getting tired of it popping up in my timelines. It's like, I don't give a fuck about this Versus. Like, please stop talking about it.
Yeah, they kept getting rescheduled. So anyway, also popular on social medias this week, of course, were the Bernie memes, which we've talked about.
We already talked about that.
A gazillion of them, though. What was your favorite?
Did you see the Janet Jackson one?
Yes.
The other one was
go ahead. Jason Momoa, where
he
clicks out the chair.
Those two were my faves. I did have a laugh at the one of Melanoma dress when she got off the plane. She changed clothes, and they put him in the little squares on her dress.
That one.
Dude. I was like, okay, I'm done with the internet right now.
Okay.
I'm done. The Jason Momoa one was my absolute favorite, followed closely by the Janet Jackson one.
Yeah.
And she reposted it. It was like mood.
Okay, I gotta see. Wait a minute, Tina. Let me see this one. Do you see the 2 Live Crew one?
No.
I'm gonna see if I can share it with you guys. Let's see. Let's see if I can share it. I don't know if it will even let me share this one. But I got it last night, and I was like, "This is horrible," and this is the one I've been waiting for. Let's see. Okay. Can you see it? Not at all?
Oh, hold on. I have to add it. There it is.
Yes.
Oh my God, that.
Do you see it?
Lord have mercy.
Okay, I just can't. But yeah, the Bernie.
They have been everything. They've been everything. And he is popping up everywhere.
Yes, he is. And I heard that he's making a he's making
sold out.
But
it's sold out.
Yeah, for charity. There you go. So way to parlay, Bird.
Yes, I love that he has a sense of humor.
Yes.
And it's still crotchety.
Yes.
I want the people good. The people should be talking about we make good gloves and have good coats. Yeah.
Yes.
Hilarious.
Spot on. Very good.
No, not the one with Monica's white sandals. No.
Yeah. It was perfect. It was perfect, Deb. It was perfect. I loved it. It was wonderful. That was probably my second favorite. Those sandals are just iconic.
Iconically bad.
Iconically bad, yes. Let's keep it moving. Talk a little bit about your favorite news.
Y'all, Fox News got banned. Okay, so first of all, apparently they are doing a reorg at Fox News and they're jettisoning, get this, the people who reported the news. They're like committing to this opinion. Who was reporting the news on Fox? Okay, I was waiting. No one said anything. Okay, cool.
There you go.
So there's a bit of a shakeup, and they're committing to this, Onion style reporting, which isn't even as funny as the Onion. So sorry, Onion, I don't mean to disrespect you. But some countries have taken the forward step to just be like, fuck Fox. Like, no, we're not doing this. So the UK, where Rupert Murdoch is from, Australia and New Zealand, they've all been like, no, this will no longer be a channel offering. So deuces. And I love it. I'm like, if you're not going to, again, and I had this conversation with my son yesterday, if you're going to do what you do, then you need to be upfront about what you're doing. So don't hold yourself out to be Fox News if you're not reporting facts and news. You're reporting feelings and fragility and fuckery. And so people should know that. And at least then, if people who are watching it and getting their information, their entertainment from there, they know what they're getting. If you're not going to do that, then, and I guess the UK is like, look, we started The Office. We don't need this for entertainment. So we're going to roll with Al Jazeera and keep it moving. Like, we don't need another, incendiary kind of like whatever the fuck y'all call yourselves doing. So no, it's done. And I'm like, stares United Statedly.
Yeah, but that would be censorship. Anyway,
well, they don't have shit like that in other countries. Like, we're the only ones that try to, hide behind the First Amendment.
Without understanding of it, but
without any type of understanding of it, and think that just because I tell you shut the fuck up, that is censorship.
Yeah. And we don't know what the First Amendment includes anyway. I mean, that's a whole other.
Well, we've never read it. We didn't have to learn it except to say these were the first 10 in the Bill of Rights.
Yeah, and I like Jordan Klepler. Have you watched his?
Dude,
when he's just like, the Constitution is actually pretty short. If you read, people are like, I don't have time to sit down and read the whole thing. But you are a scholar on it clearly because you're telling me what's in and out of it. Articles of impeachment.
It's on.
I mean, is it?
I mean, in theory.
Mm-hmm.
In theory.
Yeah, in theory. What do we think? What is your let's prognosticate a little bit. What are you thinking? It's going to happen.
That absolutely nothing is going to happen.
That's what happened.
That they're going to go through this trial and the same fake ass wannabe constitutionalists on the other side are going to blow hard and pontificate on the seriousness of this, except that he's not even in office anymore. He can't hurt us anymore.
Except for he told you we are going to be back in one form or another. But yeah.
And I just don't think that it's in the interest of unity. And this is divisive. It's unnecessary. It's a waste of time. There's other legislation that we could be passing. And so they're not going to get the number that they need to convict, thereby proving it as a waste of time. I mean, your man he initially said that Rudy Giuliani was going to be his attorney. He wasn't taking it seriously. Right. So that was the time to pounce, right? Yep. Now that he's gone and people have been like, can you feel a brand new day? I don't want to go backwards now. I don't want to look back. Yeah. Let's just move on. Let's just don't even do this anymore. Why are we talking about this? We have so much.
That was one of the questions in one of the press briefings where they were like, does the president want to move forward with this when it could just instead of, seeking out unity when this can be so divisive. And she was just like, the president wants Congress to do its job.
They are about to turn unity into a bad word.
Yeah.
One that I'm fucking tired of hearing.
Yep. Yep.
They are trash.
She said trash is offended by your statement.
Correct.
Yes.
And I'm tired already of hearing how Mitch McConnell wants to get rid of him. Lies. I'm tired of hearing about how Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins are on the fence. They're always on the fence. Fuck them. They're not going to do anything. This could be so easily handled by someone with a modicum of gumption to just be like, I don't want him in the party. Mm-hmm. He can't. Y'all are scared of his supporters who are now scrambling for leadership because they're like, he left us out. He left us out. He accepted this. Like, even QAnon is out here like, wait, so what are we doing? What are we doing here? So you're worried about people who didn't vote because they said we're not participating in this. You're worried about them primarying somebody. You're worried about dude with the face paint looking like Braveheart and the furry hat. You're worried about him primarying you if you vote against it. Yeah. You're not going to vote against it.
Yeah. Agreed.
They're going to waste our energy. They're going to waste your energy because I'm not watching this shit.
Oh, absolutely.
And, the fact that, again, Mitch McConnell with this whole, well, let's do it in February. Like, what's magical about February? Yeah. Let's do it today.
Let's do it. Let's take this momentum that's already waning. And
that's what I said. This whole, we he can be impeached after the fact. Yes, he can. But imagine if we had waited 2 years after 9/11 to be like, okay, y'all remember what happened? Y'all still mad? No, cooler heads would have prevailed. We would not still be in Afghanistan. So this same rule applies here. People are not going to be mad about this in 6 weeks because in 6 weeks, people will have been vaccinated. And in 6 weeks, people will have gotten $1,400 more. And in 6 weeks, why are we talking about this fool? We don't want to talk about him anymore. Let's move on. So,
absolutely.
Here y'all go on your bullshit. And all right.
Okay, since you're on one, I'm going to give you a second. I'll be right back. But I want you to talk about Ted Cruz. I'll be right back. Go.
Ted Cruz is a piece of shit. Okay. Ted Cruz says that the president don't care about Pittsburgh people because we signed the Paris Accords. We're back in the Paris Accords. He cares about Parisians more than he cares about Pennsylvanians. Can somebody tell Harvard that the Paris Accords are so named because that's where they signed them? That doesn't have a fucking thing to do with caring more about Parisians. I mean, I'm just saying, like, somebody said it last night, and I kind of agree now, that he's trolling. Like, he knows that he's trying to get us in a lather. And I'm sorry to say it worked, but I just want him to go away. I want him to sit there. People of Texas, I beg you, when his term expires, please vote for anybody other than him. Please put Christina for Texas, who I'm getting, email from all the time. I don't live in Texas, but cool. Put her in, put somebody else in. This is a man who allowed Voldemort to talk shit about his wife, to talk shit about his father. And now he is out here doing this man's bidding, still licking his boots, still doing his work, still working full steam ahead for the sedition caucus.
But who worked? Ted Cruz, or if you had to put a level of evil, a measurement, who's more evil, Ted Cruz or Mitch McConnell?
Oh, Mitch McConnell by far. Mitch McConnell has dyed in the wool evil. Ted Cruz just got here. Ted Cruz is trying to power grab, and he is operating without impunity, and that's his problem right now. Mitch McConnell's like, bitch, I'm a Confederate. Like, and I'm from Kentucky. I'm from, check, who gonna check me? Ted Cruz doesn't even, like, this is why I was upset about Beto O'Rourke. jumping into the presidential race, because I was like, you came within this margin of beating Ted Cruz, but the last time, do it again. Yes. Off him.
Yes, off him. Yes, that. Yes.
And people are here for it. You know what I'm saying? But I guess the sniveling version of, I never was a Ted Cruz fan to begin with, but
who was?
Right. And somebody said it earlier, he's got one of the most punchable faces, because I'm sorry, book guy, Hawley, he has the punchable face.
Hawley, yeah. Yes.
And Matt Gaetz, they all have punchable. They're the punchable face club. Indeed. But anyway, Ted Cruz
Can you punch a voice? Because I think Ted Cruz's voice is more punchable, and Josh Hawley's face is more punchable.
Yes, Mitch Spirit gives him full Palpatine energy. Yes. Oh, no. Yes, he is Emperor Palpatine for sure. And Ted Cruz, I don't know if any of y'all watch Our Cartoon President. It was a Stephen Colbert production on Showtime. Google that shit, watch it. Let me tell you something. The Ted Cruz treatment is it's great. His voice is so awful. Ivanka's voice is so awful. Like, they are awesome. But anyway, Ted Cruz, piece of shit. I want him and Hawley and McCarthy and all the people who signed their names to that fuckery and are still holding on to it. I want them gone. I don't want them censured. I want them gone. I want them out of the public specter. I want them obviously not doing the bidding of their constituents. And I want them gone. I want them gone.
The problem is, do you think that if they're censured, people will say, okay, now we've done our due diligence?
That is the least they could do. Mm-hmm. That is the absolute least they could do. And that should have happened immediately. Like, that should not be fraught with hand wringing and, oh my God. Like, I don't understand. People lose their jobs for less.
Quasi-Mendisco, can we Thanos all of them? Oh, wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, let's send all of them.
All of them. And I mean, think about this. If you got rid of the 6 senators who signed that petition, we would have much more of a majority. Off top. And then all of these machinations.
And I think that's why people won't go for it, because they will look at it as a ploy to increase our majority.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah. And yes, we see you, Deb. Term limits.
We gotta have it. So DC statehood. We can give back Florida if you're committed to 50, because really it should be DC statehood. It should be like Guam. It should be like US Virgin Islands. It should be like all these, and then soft Florida off, and then let them float off into the sea. Puerto Rico, that would be a reason to revamp the flag, because once you let the seditionists hold the American flag, I can't pledge allegiance to that anymore. Like, that can't be. That
was your breaking point.
No, I'm just saying it's the new Confederate flag now. Like, you've traded the stars and bars for.
Let's be real. For Black folks, it has been that way for a while.
Yeah.
We were looking for houses, and it's a shame that when you drive through a neighborhood and you see every house has an American flag on it, you have to automatically, or you don't have to, but I tend to automatically assume that it's not a place where I should be.
Absolutely.
Because patriotism in America means something different.
Because patriotism has become a code word for white.
It's not just white. It's been a code word for white supremacy.
White, capital W.
Yes, and it's become a code word for white supremacy. Capital W, capital S. And so it does not surprise Black folks to see seditionists and insurrectionists running around with the American flag, and the Confederate flag in the same hand. So yeah.
So Ted Cruz, fire up your F-150. Raphael, go pick up Nimrata. For the uninitiated. And everybody else who has changed their name to something that's adjacent, that's white adjacent, so that white people will ride for you as hard as you ride for them. And take Matt Gaetz, take Kevin McCarthy, take all of the people who still voted for these objections after the fact, plus everybody who signed onto them to begin with, looking at you, Representative Lankford, who tried to come with his apology. Oh, my bad. I didn't realize that I was trying to delegitimize Black people. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean that. I just meant I have questions. All of yous, get the fuck on. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm so salty. I don't either. And that's a part of, the Black experience that folks will never understand.
They won't. And they're starting to see it. They're not starting to understand it, but they're starting to see it.
There's a show that nobody watches but me, probably. And I don't mean nobody who's on this live right now. I mean, nobody watches this show. And it's Superstore that was... America Ferrera was.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Well, there was an episode I watched last night, and it was basically about how they took the locks off of the Black hair care products at the store, and it really talks about centering yourself, white folks centering themselves in Black liberation. It talks about the whole, they took the locks off, and now they get to feel like they had, contributed to the cause, that this is their legacy. But if you don't watch Superstore, it doesn't matter. Just watch that episode, please. And it just really talks about the Black experience and how there are ways that, and nobody's saying that you're supposed to know it. Nobody's saying that white folks are supposed to understand the Black experience, but the ways that we are affected by these little microaggressions every single day, and the things that you guys take for granted that we cannot. And there you go. That was an aside, but there you go. Watch that one, Osati, please do. And I'm glad to see somebody else watches it besides me.
Yeah, I've watched a couple episodes. I mostly just forget and don't know that because the commercials are hilarious.
Absolutely. So we just got 2 more things before we close it out, and they are much lighter things. Can we flip them a bit? Because I'd like to end with the one that's next to last. Sure.
Did anybody watch A Teacher on FX?
I've had this whole, I don't know if I'm gonna watch that. I've had that whole attitude about it, and I know exactly what it's about, and I know the way it's positioned. So
I was just curious. Last week we did a whole segment on, go see or not be, and I say go see A Teacher. It's 10 episodes. It's on FX. It's on Hulu now. I mean, it was just been on Hulu, but you can get all episodes. And I would love to have a conversation about that, especially for those of us that have had school-age children, those of us who have boys, this idea of inappropriate relationships and inappropriate relationships where one person's in power or one person has perceived power. Those of us who have taught, I've been a teacher, I've taught kids this age. And I'm just curious, like where your heads are about this show. It was done. It was well done, though. I thought. They didn't pull punches.
Oh, Miss Tiff started to go back and say, "You haven't seen the Blue Lives Matter flags?" Oh, honey. Yesterday we were looking for homes, and one house had the Blue Lives Matter flag in the front and over the garage. So this is what I was saying to my husband. I was like, if you have an old flag up, I can see how you might forget. You just haven't had a chance to take it down. They had it over their garage, the opening in their garage. So when you back your car out, you had to drive through the Trump flag. So you are being inconvenienced every time you leave your house. So
right. Oh, hell no.
You care enough about keeping that Trump flag hanging that you will inconvenience yourself every time. I said, you don't want me to live here. I see you. Got it. Message taken. I don't want to live here either.
Got it. Yes. Yes.
And you watch
one full episode, couldn't continue. Which is, I don't know, maybe it's a difference in age, or I don't know. Like, I was hooked after the first episode. I was like, oh shit, let me see how this is gonna go. So yeah.
Okay. So one more thing before we close, we want to talk to you guys about, and that is One Night in Miami. So we mentioned it last show. Yeah, if you saw it, let us know in the comments. Let us know if you saw it.
It's on Amazon Prime or Prime Movies.
Yes, Prime Video, I think it's called.
Prime Video, that's what I mean.
And so we watched it, first of all, tell us if you watched it. Tell us if you saw it. Secondly, tell us what you thought of it. If we're talking about go see or Nabi, I say go see. Go see. What do you say, Mickey? Were you a go see?
Absolutely, go see it.
Yes. At the end of the movie, Cortland just looked over me and said, well, that was thick. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what it was. It was thick.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a fictional account.
Right.
But the direction, which was by Regina King, so was amazing. The acting was, I will tell you, the guy who played Malcolm X, Adair, I think, I can't remember his name.
He was also on High Fidelity. He is smoking hot.
Ooh, but the minute he started talking, I was like, I'm getting Barack Obama vibes, only to read that he did play Barack Obama in 2020 in the Comey some movie.
The Comey Rule, boo.
Yeah, but yeah, the Comey Rule, which I didn't see, but he played Barack Obama in that. But I was
not watch.
Really? No. I was big
James Comey.
I was getting big Obama vibes from him, but he just was so good. So good. Your boy Leslie Odom was so good as Sam Cooke.
Listen, Leslie Odom Jr. is like that dude. Whoever he's playing, he's that dude.
That dude.
And, you know, all of them I thought did a really good job of like sounding like the person. Kid who played Ali, like, you know,
so good.
And Aldous Hodge, like, listen, Aldous Hodge made the list a long time ago.
Yeah.
But as Jim Brown, I was like,
and you know, I'm not going to tell you, but you know the scene where Cortland was like, I don't have to watch any more of the movie because that just happened when he visited
I do at the beginning. Like,
yeah, he was like, that's the movie. That's the movie.
But you know, I was waiting. Like that whole scene, I was tense because I was like, so, anytime I see Bo Bridges in a period piece, I already know. Bo Bridges was the one in Jerry Maguire that was like, he signed with Bob Sugar while you were down in the lobby with the colored fella. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, when you see Bo Bridges, you know what it is.
Like, all right.
But yes, One Night in Miami, go see. Yeah, like run and go. Yeah,
it's really good.
Fictional, but it would have you believing that it could have happened, and to see how they influence each other in the movement, and just
and especially like the Sam Cooke storyline. I was like, I mean, I knew where they were going all along with that, and the parallels to like what happened, how that song was used in Malcolm X in the movie. And I was just like, oh.
I mean, just brilliant. Go see it.
Go see it.
That is the last one we want to talk about, but I told Mickey I was going to throw this one in. We talked about Soul last week and I hadn't watched it. And so since then I did watch it and I was like, okay, so I mean, cute. I didn't get the whole, what an amazing story of purpose. I thought it was okay. It was good. And then I had a conversation with my son, Chandler, about it. And he was like, I actively disliked that movie. And I was like, do tell me why. And what tripped me out, what made me want to bring it up is because the reasons he disliked it, had nothing to do with the reasons that we talked about and the criticisms we'd seen before. So those who had Jelly let's get her review of Teacher.
I see. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
But the reasons that he actively disliked Soul were, one, you know, we get it. We know how Pixar does Black folks. We know we don't let him be Black the whole movie. We were like, okay, Soul, he's got to be a ghost. He was like, but he was not just not a black person because he was a ghost. He was not a black person because he was also a fucking cat. We couldn't just not be black. We had to be two other things that were not black. But also he says he hated the pianist who Chan put the name in the comments, but he says Pixar is racist and they know nothing about gig culture. Well, there you go. But put the name of the pianist. I just had a brain fart. But the pianist who, it was not Jamie Foxx. It was somebody else playing piano under the main character. He's like, real jazz musicians think that this guy is, it's kind of a collective idea that he's trash. And so
I think I know who the pianist is.
You do. I can't think of his name right now. It's a block.
But is he the same person who did Green Book? Chris Bowers?
No.
Oh, okay, because that's somebody Cameron works with, and I can't have y'all out here blaspheming. Him. Oh, John Batiste. Okay. Yeah, all right, cool. I don't know him. All right, because I'm like, I'm gonna have to stop you. We're gonna have to fade to black because we're fucking with the money.
No, but Chen was like, it's just kind of understood he's just not great. But also that he says, if you show up late for an audition, you go in and you don't know where the solo stops. You play over the lead and you generally don't know the music. You're not getting hired, period. No matter what. No matter what a good speech you give, you're not getting hired. And he's like, and the whole story came off to him as the moral of the story being, well, sometimes in life you just got to settle. And he was like, what kind of story is that? I
mean, and the moral of the story was almost, you can't get what you want. You can't even live. Like, right. When you get what you want, you die. Like,
right. And he's like, the dude was not getting gigs over and over and over again because he was a bad musician. He was showing up to gigs. He was playing badly. He was a bad musician. That's why you're a middle school music teacher. So anyway, I just wanted to give that varying opinion on why an actual jazz musician hated the movie Soul.
You're welcome. Band leader. Okay. Not trash, just not unique. Got you. Okay. Words matter.
Yeah. Right. Words matter. Words matter. Not trash, just not unique. But there you go. So
also we didn't talk about Kim Kardashian getting rid of Kanye West, but
yes, and this is a conversation for another day, but I do not agree with you on the Kardashian bash. I'm not a fan of the Kardashians, but yeah, that's the whole other thing. But
I think they're culture vultures, and I think they got what they want. They get what they want from these dudes, which is beautiful black children. And then when they're done, they're like, okay, now Kanye is a different ballgame.
I was about to say
Kanye, he survived longer, number one, than any of the others.
But she survived him longer. That motherfucker is crazy.
It's the recycling circle.
Yeah.
The arrows. It's both of them. It's bad people on both sides in this case.
Yeah.
So
bad people on both sides. I know. Yeah, okay, y'all. Almost 3 hours. We did good though. We did good this time. We had a lot to talk about.
We did.
We appreciate you guys. Y'all have been crunk in the comments, which is what we love, as you know. And I'm gonna take us out of here. We thank you.
Before you do that, sorry. I want to just send a shout out to all the Twitch peeps. They know from DJ Metaspins, from her streams, and they came out to support. I so appreciate it. So I'm not on Twitch at the moment, which is why I can't be like, oh, hey, but so anyway, I just want to say thanks to all the people who came out.
Absolutely.
Watching from Twitch.
Thanks for the people who are commenting, and for those who are not. We know there are a lot of you guys who are here who are just not commenting. We learned that last week. So thank you all for being here. We really, really, really love when you guys engage with us. If you've been here before, this is a conversation. This is not us preachifying. So we really, really love to read what your comments are, and we feed off of that. So thank you. And just do come back. Please do come back next time. And we don't care if you're late, oh so salty, come late.
Yeah, roll through. Come through.
Roll through. Follow us on all platforms at Twofer Blog. We're everywhere at Twofer Blog. Follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Read our blog at twoferblog.com. For those who were late, our most recent post was about Bridgerton. And if you haven't watched it, or you're wondering whether or not to watch it, or you have watched it and you just want to hear what other people thought, go check out our recent post. And I just want to talk a little bit about our partners. 4 out of 5 Black and brown women are considered overweight or obese. We're going to change that narrative. Curly and Spiritually Fit, who you can find a link, all of our partners, you can find links on our website to go to their websites and check them out. It's a place where Black and brown women come together to take control over their health and their souls. Our partner particularly is one of her parents is going through a health crisis right now. So big shouts out to Curly and Spiritually Fit. We're thinking about you. Melanin Mindscape, a blog dedicated to Black TV, Black history, and Black lit. All melanin all the time. That is a truth. It is not an overstatement. Go check out Melanin Mindscape. Creative Sippin' is a unique and exciting paint and sip studio in Chicago, but you ain't got to be in Chicago because they deliver paint night boxes and they have a variety of activities. You can order the paint party in a box and enjoy the fun in the comfort of your own home. We have done it as a family. Tamika has done it as a family with her family. It was a blast. Get your paint party in a box. And then finally, Disrupting Balance. It's a blog and a podcast platform that uplifts women who are embracing the transitions and decisions in their personal and professional lives. Actionable strategies, purposeful content equals winning a life disrupted in your favor. And our newest partner, Spiked Sweet Tea. If you haven't listened to their podcast, please do. Podcast hosted by April Nicole and Dina Haynes, 2 Black women from Atlanta, not Georgia. If you don't know that there's a difference, now you know. Southern hospitality, but spiked. They discuss a range of topics, including pop culture, current events, health, society, and even politics. Holler at them, and I love their podcast. And if you want to partner with us, please do. Send us an email at holla, H-O-L-L-A, holla, at twoferblog.com with partnership in the subject line, and we will do the rest. It ain't going to cost you nothing, but it is we talk about symbiotic relationships. It's a good one. So hook us up, join us, hang out with us, partner with us. Let's build each other up. We're here if you're here. Thank you guys so much. Mickey, I forgot to tell you, you look beautiful. I'm loving you.
As do you. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you back.
Let's do it again.
Oh, okay. So not next week, but the week after. We're back to every other week.
Yeah, so January has been chock full of stuff. So we were a little on a wonky schedule, but we're getting back. So 2 weeks from now, same place.
Same time, same place.
Okay. Love you.
Cool. Ms. Tiff Star, we're going to look for that email. So cool.
Yes, please do.
Yay. Woo.